Adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
It's
You know, I am curious, and I don't know if we'll ever find out what was said in the first team meeting for fall camp in this Arkansas football team, but you heard Sam Pittman kind of joking there about maybe a motivation factor being picked 14th in the SEC. First and foremost, the media is often wrong when it comes to not just where they slot Arkansas, i.e. last year, but a number of teams. The champion, where each team lines up in the previous divisions, and over the course of the last 30-some-odd years that Arkansas has been a part of the SEC, rare is it that they guess where the Razorbacks land. I hope they're wrong in this case. I hope they don't finish 14th, because if they do, we might be talking about a new football coach this upcoming season. Sam seemed pretty lighthearted. Did it media days. Team yesterday. Didn't have the same, I would say, draws we were talking about before the show as John Calipari. That's just a strength of Cal's that, I mean, I like listening to Sam. But there's definitely a distinguishable difference between the two in the press conferences that they had this week.
Yep, and Sam Pittman gave some good information. Maybe didn't deliver it as dynamically as Cal did the day before.
See, Sam's funny. Cal's not.
Yeah. Well, it's a different kind of humor.
I haven't laughed at Cal since he's been here, unless it was unintentionally funny.
But funny, informative, and entertaining are different things.
That's true.
And what I'm looking for in a press conference isn't always laughs. The
blood and guts and the info.
I don't know about blood and guts, but I want to learn something. And I think Sam delivered some details yesterday. It's a What's Your Beef Wednesday here on the Morning Rush. If you're getting ready to grill this weekend, what's going on that grill? Find whatever you're looking for at the best place to find all your high-quality meats, and that's Richard's Country Meat Market. From the aroma of steak to perfectly flavored gourmet burgers and fresh kebabs on the grill. Hey, this summer will be a feast for the senses. Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Look online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
All right, speaking of meats, Tommy, I did put a steak in the air fryer. I've been doing it the last couple nights. Instead of doing it 18 minutes, I've done it 14 minutes. So it's turned out more medium rare or medium than it was medium well the other night. It's not almost brown in the middle. It's very red.
I guess it's very red. What's very red?
Not very red, but pink. Is it? Yeah, pink. Pink's the better way to put it.
See, if I had it at 18 and I was overcooked, why wouldn't you do it for 12 or 10 and then it's just the way I want it? Then you could always cook it for more.
Go up.
You can't ever. It's kind of like a haircut. I can always have it cut a little shorter. Can't have it cut a little longer.
There's some truth. Yeah, there's some truth to that. But I recommended this to several of my buddies. We were talking about it yesterday because they heard me talking about it, and they're going to try it now. I don't know if you necessarily.
If Ty Richardson suggested that I've got to try it.
They've never done it before, so
I haven't either. My brother swears by, but if you're in a hurry, you don't want to fire up the green egg. It's just for one, whatever. It is a great solution. All it is a countertop oven. That's all. It's not a fryer. It's a countertop oven.
Will Richard get mad at me if I throw one of his steaks in?
I wouldn't do that with a quality piece of meat like Richard. But I think once you leave the door and paid your tab, I don't think Richard really cares.
They don't fall. Okay, all right. Just want to make sure.
He's not the soup Nazi. It won't be no steak for you.
That is one of my favorite. I haven't watched every Seinfeld episode. I've only watched a handful, but that is one of my favorite scenes of any TV show. That little skit right there when you have certain restaurants that you know how most restaurants, they cater to you. Certain restaurants you have to get catered to, and in that show, it's not just on a show. Sometimes in real life, that is definitely one of them. Rare is it that we take a phone call the first segment. We'll do so with Ryan in Hot Springs. At the tail end of the program yesterday, we talked about the Oklahoma State game and the impact for Arkansas. Ryan, I guess, caught wind of it yesterday and wants to chime in this morning. Ryan, welcome into the program, man.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Yeah, y'all were kind of going over Oklahoma State's history and kind of how it starts slow, but y'all didn't go over Arkansas's history about how well they do on the road against Power 5 teams. I mean, you go all the way back to really got to go back to USC to really the first time, the last time they really failed to win one on the road, because you go to Texas. What was that in 2000? Somewhere 2003.
03.
Yeah, it was. Kind of when this trend got going good about winning on the road at Power 5, and then you also got to throw in A&M there, even though it is a neutral site, it's still on the road. Won 3 games there, and then in the recency you got BYU, Texas Tech, and what's the one I'm forgetting?
TCU.
TCU, exactly. So we, for whatever reason, with the Power 5, we've done really well on the road in those games, and for whatever reason, we've struggled when they come in here.
Yeah, you lost to TCU, you lost to Tech with Patrick Mahomes, you lost to Texas in 2004. That was an awesome game. That's cold Saturday night. I say cold Saturday night. That Saturday night. It just didn't go your way. Matt still is mad about that game. Of all of his accomplishments, that's the game that still ticks him off. But I hope you're right. I'm very wary of what Oklahoma State is bringing back, and I think most are. It's the best running back in college football. That is, you're having to go up against Arkansas's linebackers are going to be tested early. We're going to hear from Sam Pittman coming up about what they added in the portal with Worth and Dix and some of the freshmen and Bradley Shaw and the White kid. Why am I blanking on his name? The Harding kid that has escaped me for just one second. White Simmons. But the issue with that game is that Oklahoma State is probably going to wind up in the Big 12 championship game. This is not a Power 5 team that should be taken lightly. Not that Sam and his staff and his players are going to take it lightly. It's just a tough ask to go into week 2 in Boone Pickett Stadium and win that game with basically a quarterback that's playing his first competition in Taylon Green. No disrespect to anyone in the Mountain West, but it's not the same caliber that he'll face week 2 or, for that matter, the rest of the SEC. Hope you're right, though, Ryan. Hope it's a game. We'll have to wait and see. Again, we're in the 20s now, the countdown as we get ready for this Little Rock game, UAPB. Sam Pittman, first press conference yesterday. Got a message from GPS Gin saying there's some sarcasm infused in this message. After hearing from strength and conditioning coach Ben Souders, we are at least going 12-0, Tommy.
At least 12.
At least 12-0, maybe more. He also adds a steak in the air fryer tie. Holy man card removal. All I would ask and all I would advocate for is just try it before you knock it. That is what my parents taught me when I saw there was a food item or something that didn't look good, and they just said, just try it. If you don't like it, you can have your opinion. Give it a whirl. Give it the 12 to 14 minutes or whatever you think is perfect for your steak. And if you don't like it, then you can come at me with 1,000 different words the following day.
Well, all it is an oven. The top steakhouses use high temp ovens to cook your steak. So, do I prefer charcoal? Most days, but sometimes you don't have that much time. And right now, when it's 109 degrees outside, do I really want to fire up a grill?
Absolutely not.
It's not I wouldn't do it with a piece of Wagyu, but I might do that with a $10 New York strip or something. All right, that's where we began. Brought to you by Farm Credit. They've got 25 locations around the listing area. And if you're thinking about remodeling your home or maybe building from the ground up, see the experts at Farm Credit as they can walk you through all of the financing options that are available for you. Go to myaglender.com. That's myaglender.com. Or again, stop in any of the 25 locations at Farm Credit of Western Arkansas.
All right, so I referenced a clip from Sam Pittman. We heard one at the top of our open. We've got plenty to discuss what your head football coach had to say. And we got Chuck Oliver coming up at 6:30 on the Morning Rush.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
I was listening to the Morning Rush, and I thought I heard the voice of an angel.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It was a very good conversation, Ty.
This is the Morning Rush.
Harry Robinson Salisal Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisal Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisal.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Soon, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything: service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
First of all, it's an honor to be here with the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck.
Texas backed up inside its 5, and they fumble the ball on the goal line. It's loose in the end zone. It's either a safety or a touchdown, and it's 6. Touchdown, Arkansas. It's recovered by Taiwan Johnson.
You want to watch the Morning Rush, Halftime, Even, Ruskin, and Zach? Find our live video stream on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, and Twitch. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio.
right, so what else did Sam Pittman have to say yesterday in his press conference? We'll share it with you coming up. We got Chuck Oliver in 15 minutes. College football all the time, 365 days a year. Also does an afternoon show in Atlanta. We'll get his thoughts. He knows Sam Pittman from his days at Georgia and has a pretty good sense on what's going on in the SEC footprint. We'll get his thoughts coming up in 15.
Hey, the Fence Man's the company we trust with anything involving fence or gates or powered automatic gates. And if that's something you need at work to make your work site more secure, or you want at home for a better look, more security and curb appeal that will raise the value of your property, the Fence Man can do it for home or residential or industrial installations. 782-3936, custom wrought iron and ornamental iron installations, automatic gates. They can do commercial chain link with the powered industrial setups, and then controlled access to get in and out of the gates, even walk through gates with controlled access as well. Call the Fence Man, 782-3936, 479-782-3936. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work.
All right, guys, any guess where Arkansas finished in rushing offense yards per game last year? Any idea?
Well, it couldn't be great.
I wasn't. What do you think?
Particularly if you took your quarterback's yards out of the equation. Out of 14, I'm going to say 11th.
Give me the overall of 130 some odd teams. Just throw out a number.
On the spot. I don't know. I mean, wild guess, 92nd.
Big C, where do you think they finished? She said 90. That's actually pretty close. Good guess. What do you think?
110.
110. It was 87th.
87th.
The previous 2 years, they finished 7th.
I went over. I don't win the showcase.
Yeah, just missed it. But that's, I mean, you're 5 off. That's a pretty good guess. Arkansas strength last year, 2 years ago and the year before was running the football. Now, 7-6 2 years ago, 9-5 the year before that. 9-4, excuse me.
He did a healthy rocket last year.
Yes, and that hurts your rushing attack. But again, we cite the running backs. We know it starts up front. A lot of you have questions about the offensive line. Sam Pittman addressed it a little bit yesterday. Found it interesting. While he kind of likes where his 5 are at the starter, still trying to get some guys in backup roles that can compete for starting jobs.
I think we have the guys in the right spot. I think we have to create a battle with Tykees Crawford. We are going to move him into right guard, and he's played a lot of ball there, but we're going to move him in to see if he could potentially start for us there. Now, there's nothing against Braun. We like Braun and all that, but we have to give kids opportunities to start. So if you think about it, you're going, what are you going to do with Joe Moore? You know, so Joe Moore's played a lot of ball. So what are you going? Very, very strong kid, very, very smart. What are you going to do with him? So our choice was we could either put him at right guard and keep Tyke East out there where he is, or we can move Tyke East and move Joe in it. Now we may move that combination at some point, but that's today. That's how we think we could have our best depth.
So the process I remember with Tyke East, 4-star kid from Carthage, Texas, and I think he ended up starting his career at Charlotte and then comes and transfers to Fayetteville, and it just hasn't necessarily materialized like you thought it would with him based on his frame, based on how highly recruited he was out of high school, and you're hoping he takes that next step. You've been hoping for a little bit now, not just him. There's like a Marion Harris and another guy or two. They're trying, it sounds like Pittman, Tommy, is trying to put these guys in positions where they can still compete and win jobs, but the opportunity's there. You lost a lot of guys last year. It's up for the taking right now.
But he also spoke in there about centers. He said, we got to find out who our 3 best tackles, 3 best guards, and 3 best centers are. He goes, that doesn't mean it's always 9 different people. So, he said, Addison Nichols and Amari Wiggins are going to have that battle at center. They got to find out who can snap the ball. You get an injury, and then you have 2 injuries in the same spot. That's what keeps coaches up at night. So it's about mixing and matching. And you mentioned Marion Harris. They've liked him over at tackle on the left side, or did coming out of spring. So they're trying to figure out, and he spoke to this yesterday, how many guys can fit into some pieces and go at least in the 2 deep at a couple of spots, and how many of those guys can make the travel roster as well, because he's trying to figure out who can play in an SEC game. He's got to find his 8 guys at least. It may not be 9, probably 7 or 8. We'll ask Clay about it coming up, but that's what he was driving at yesterday, is being 3 deep at every spot, but one guy may be on the 2 deep at 3 different spots.
Just, again, running back. You finished 7th in 2021, 7th in 2022, and 87th in 2023. 80 spots difference that your rushing attack. Arkansas is not going to be able to pass it for 400 yards a game, even with Bobby Petrino at the helm. Sam Pittman has spoken about this several times in the offseason. He still wants to run the football. He talked about that if they can't run the football, it's not going to set up Bobby Petrino calling play action games. That is the whole point. Again, I think, I don't remember if Chuck or Clay said this, but it's always stuck in my crawl that we thought, like with Tyler and Ryan, you had 2 great quarterbacks back-to-back, right? Oftentimes, you had Bobby Petrino passing to set up the run. Most coaches run to set up the pass, but Bobby would utilize the passing game to really wear you down the fourth quarter. We just ran the football on you. I don't know what the plan is from 10 plus years ago to now, but you can't do that.
Well,
you can't run the football.
10 years ago, you weren't in this job and in this industry on a full-time basis. Things have changed. And, but I think a lot of the principles of what Bobby Petrino has always wanted to do are still the principles. But, the idea that you have a pro-style drop-back, Ryan Mallett type quarterback, that's not what they're going to do with Taylor Green. So you got to mold a little bit around the personnel you got. And the question, and going back to where we started the conversation, is, are you going to be able to protect a quarterback? Are you going to have to roll the pocket a bunch? And honestly, to keep defenses honest, are you going to be able to run the ball in the middle? Are you going to be able to make the linebackers be accountable, the inside linebackers accountable for the run game inside? So that comes back to, can you win a gap enough? Can your guard and centers and can your inside guys win enough battles there that you can move the football and move the chains running inside enough to keep the defenses in check as well?
You brought up an interesting point about KJ Jefferson that, again, he accounted for a good chunk of Arkansas. In fact, he led the team, if I remember correctly, in rushing this past season. How much they actually utilize Taylor Green in the run game? Because, let's be honest, there's a pretty heavy drop-off from the Tier 1 quarterback to Tier 2. And you were talking about what keeps you up at night in terms of center getting injured or 2 centers getting injured. I think that would keep up this offensive staff if Taylor was to get hurt. So I'm curious to see how Bobby Petrino and Sam Pittman kind of go back and forth on the idea of utilizing him in the run game versus trying to keep him as healthy as possible.
Well, and we just hadn't seen enough. We got to see more out of Taylor Green. I mean, he's been anointed starting quarterback by Bobby, but we've got to see more from him to see if he can play at an SEC level. I imagine that's keeping him up at night as well. All right, what's beefing with you? What's grinding your gears this morning? It's What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market. They're in Fayetteville. No other meat market is the same or in the same league even as Richards. They have the selection, they have the quality, no doubt about it, and the value you get from Richards. For the best meat in town, visit Richards Country Meat Market. They're online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
All right, we're talking with Chuck Oliver next. We'll get his beef and get a sense of Sam Pittman in the offseason, kind of the things that he said yesterday, plus some other college football stories within the Southeastern Conference next.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
Yeah, boss, I kind of like that.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
I'm going to have to lean towards Ty here.
This is The Morning Rush.
Let me grab my car keys and we'll roll.
Are we still going to that new bar downtown?
Yeah, it's supposed to be fun. Lexi, give me driving directions from home to downtown Bar District.
Autocorrect. Suggest Uber. Pick up. Home. Drop off downtown Bar District.
No, I'm driving.
Suggest the Metro bus. Departing in 12 minutes.
Point taken, Lexi. We'll grab a ride.
If you drink, don't drive. Decide to ride. Brought to you in partnership by Anheuser-Busch, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and Uber.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Sportsmith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Calling all biscuit lovers. Hardee's limited edition blueberry biscuits are the stuff of biscuit dreams. Our famous buttermilk biscuits with summer's favorite berries baked in, served warm, and drizzled with icing. Don't miss your chance to try this special summertime treat while blueberry biscuits are still in season and ripe for the picking. Only at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at limbirdteam.com. LIMBIRD.
Summertime in Arkansas means pond and creek fishing, and nothing catches bass and bluegill in a pond like a Rebel crick hopper. You can twitch it, pop it, walk it, and swim it. It's the ultralight fishing lure that looks and acts like a real grasshopper. The crick hopper works great in tandem with light spinning rods and reels with 4 or 6 pound fishing line. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. The Rebel crick hopper.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I know how to do it. You just need a little bit more education. Love it.
Wade and Adams back deep. Adams with it at the 45. Adams skipping. Adams gets outside. Watch out. It's the sideline. The Jet. Touchdown, Arkansas.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
All right, we welcome you back into the Morning Rush. We're going to talk with Chuck Oliver coming up in just a bit. Usually we catch him at SEC Media Days, but he was feeling a little under the weather at the tail end of that week. So we're going to get his thoughts on maybe what's going on in the SEC this summer, Sam Pittman, who just spoke yesterday, and more. And we got your beefs coming up in the second half of this segment as well.
Hey, nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Phil Bobber with the family. That might be part of your weekend plans. America's favorite floats by Phil are available in a variety of sizes and colors that are perfect for any weekend on the water. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands in Pradco's Arkansas plant. They're great at detecting even the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and red worms as well. Find Phil floats available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores everywhere. America's favorite floats by Phil.
Chuck, we had a chance to listen to Coach Pittman yesterday, and one of the things that stood out to me is he is not a fan of moving from 85 to 105 scholarships like the NCAA is apparently proposing. What are, from the coaches you've talked to, you talked to a lot of head coaches in college football, do they share the same sentiment that Coach Pittman kind of shared yesterday?
I would have to say that it's the cap of it. It's not necessarily the scholarships. It is the cap that if you eliminate the walk-on program or you, like, honestly, it's a roster cut down just like the NFL, which is the phrase we keep hearing. That's what they don't want. We all know, like, the hustle, and I give them credit, by the way, it's not criticism. The hustle that BYU came up with, the Mormons of all people, when Name, Image, Likeness started, their angle was coaching staff. Any recruit that you deem worthy of a scholarship, don't worry about that 25 or that 85. We'll give them a name, image, likeness deal in addition to all the other stuff to cover the exact to-the-dollar amount of the. You have unlimited scholarships now. BYU had 127 players on full scholarship last year. That's what their name, image, likeness did. So that's the goal, is to reel that in and say, I don't care if you give them, you don't have to give them out. It's called permissive legislation. But you can give out up to 105, but no matter what you do, you're not going to have more than 105 kids in your program. That's what the coaches don't like.
Yeah, and he spoke to, in his own program, Grant Morgan, just a few years ago. We obviously saw Cody Schrader running wild in the SEC, 2 Burlsworth award winner. Yeah, and that's one of those things where I think a lot of, not just Arkansas fans, but coaches and other fans are frustrated by this potential rule and change.
Yeah, and I mean, even you think about 12th man, and honestly, I mean, Texas A&M, I watch them sometimes. I'm like, you need to, like, filter out like 40% of your traditions. But the 12th man is like, that's a thread, that's a fiber, and so it really does. It really is going to be an adjustment. I'll say the days of Nebraska, like, if we go back to when Osborne was still there, like their weight program, there ain't no players in Nebraska. So what they would do is they would have, like, I don't know, 115, 120 walk-ons, and they would work out everybody for 2 or 3 or 4 years, and then by the end of it, go back and look at some of those all-conference linemen. Those were folks that they just put in 3 or 4 years of investment, and then they turned into a Nebraska football player. Ain't doing that anymore. So that's a real big adjustment for everybody.
So, Chuck, if you go through with the additional scholarships, and that means full cost of attendance, and we're just talking football. I mean, this is an increase of somewhere like 55 or 60 scholarships on campus, but let's just focus on football. And then we're going to have revenue sharing. Then we got to raise money for NIL. Where does it all come from?
What a great question. And here is the answer. And by the way, this has always been baked into it. And I'm not trying to sound sinister here, but this is the truth. The Big Ten and the SEC, this is a long play for them. They are going to cleave away every other conference that ain't them. And if you don't think it's happening, it was Power 5. What'd they do last year? Cleaved off the Pac-12. The Big 12's next. The AC's, they're actually going to be in their own little fun thing over there in the Big 12, but it's not going to be competing for actual football. It's going to be like, do you ever watch the USFL or the Arena League or the Canadian League? And you think, hey, that's kind of fun football. But it's not the real professional football that we care about. Think of the Big Ten as the AFC and the SEC as the NFC. Like, that's basically what we're going to come down to. We have these 2 conferences that we actually care about. Those are the games. And if on a Thursday night you happen to be watching Hamilton and Montreal, well, that's fine. But that's not the real football we care. That's what we're heading towards. Now, I'm going to tell you what you said about the money here. That's a great point. What a lot of people don't either realize or think about, you don't just, like, the AD doesn't call the English department and say, we got 25 more freshmen, save some seats. They have to write a check to the school. So, like, literally, there's money coming out of the athletic department that goes over to pay for tuition and books. Like, that's a legit expense. And so then a fan will think, well, wait a minute, that means a school like Marshall or UAB or South Alabama, that they won't be able to keep playing. And Greg Sankey will look at you and go, yes. Yes, we understand. Like, the goal is to get rid of them. Where does the money come? The money comes when you stop giving Tulsa and Memphis some of it. So that's the ultimate goal, and they're looking at this, and people are going, oh, my gosh, clutch the pearls. What will happen to Western Michigan? And Greg Sankey looks at you and says, yes, we know. Like, what we consider a bug, it's a feature to them. Like, this has always been the plan, I promise you.
Chuck Oliver, he's in Atlanta, covers college football year-round. So let's go down that hole a little bit, and what you're really talking about is more conference realignment, more expansion for some leagues perhaps, and the two schools everyone's talking about, and the one big move left is Clemson and Florida State. Get the crystal ball out here. What happens to them, and what happens to them also goes to answer what happens to the ACC, I presume.
Oh, yeah. Y'all want to have a fun exercise? Like, really, like, and be critical and really think about this. Outside of the Big Ten and the SEC, how many really valuable athletic brands are in college football right now? Because, by the way, basketball doesn't matter. And we keep saying, well, what about Duke and Kansas? Yeah, you remember when the Pac-12 years ago was about to absorb the Big 12? Kansas was like 30 minutes away from not having a conference, and that's real. Like, so we don't care about basketball because basketball don't pay. I've got about 5. One of them's Notre Dame. One of them's Clemson. One of them's Florida State. There's like 5 or 6 maybe properties. Okay, well, how many more properties do we need to get the SEC and the Big Ten each to 20? Well, we need about 5 or 6. So I think that at some point in the next, I don't know, half dozen years or so, by like 2030, the plan for disintegration from the ACC is going to – I'm not trying to sound fatalistic. I mean, this is the kind of thing that 10 years ago we were going, oh, my gosh, Christian McCaffrey's not playing in the Sun Bowl. How, we just move along. Like the headlines change, and the next one is going to be there's no more ACC. If you're old enough, I mean, the Southwest Conference probationed itself into non-existence. They had Heisman winners. They had national champions. They had Darrell K. Royal. In the Southwest Conference, it hadn't been around for 30 years. College football's continued. So the ACC is going to be this thing we used to watch. It's going to be like Raycom. And so a few of the programs will come out. Florida State, though, they're getting bopped on the nose a little bit. Did we all see those comments from Petitti at the Big Ten? He was really clear about research universities and your AAU standings, and Florida State's got to have somewhere to go. They're not holding 2s and 7s, but they also don't have a full house. I mean, they're not quite as high and mighty as they think, but all this will happen in the next 5 or 6 years.
Clemson's, I believe, a private university, and I think a little more prestigious academically, if I remember correctly, Chuck. So maybe that is more likely to end up in the Big Ten. I don't know how much that's saying, but I'd be curious, again, if Petitti's saying that, if how much academics actually play within that philosophy.
Yeah, and so, well, that's the thing, is that Miami is private, and that's the cool thing. Have we noticed that Miami and UNC, that phrase they use is public Ivy. They want to pretend they're Duke, but they're public. But they are a highfalutin, smarty-pants school. UNC and Miami have, for the most part, been sitting out on the sides and letting Clemson and Florida State be ugly in public about it.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing, if you notice. For Clemson, it has mostly been, it's just business, guys. Just give us the number. Like, they saw SMU rang the dinner bell. Didn't they raise like $150 million in a day and a half?
That was insane. And
okay, and Clemson's looking around going, wait a minute, I bet we could do that. They literally, that next week, they went to the ACC like, guys, just give us a number. Florida State, it's gotten personal. And so that's going to be the most redneck thing ever. I grew up in the South. Arguing in the front yard, okay? I'm like, just go in the house. Florida State's going to argue in the front yard with the ACC. Like, that's where we are.
That's a good way to look at it. We're talking with, again, Chuck Oliver does afternoons in Atlanta, does Chuck Oliver Show, college football, 365 days a year. Chuck, speaking of the Big Ten, Michigan reportedly from this guy from the Wolverine, Chris Ballas, that they could possibly face some stuff from the NCAA, including a postseason ban for 1 or 2 years. One, do you think this will ever pan out? And two, do you think this is another reason maybe while Jim Harbaugh was trying to get out the door and head to the National Football League?
Oh, God, yes. Like, can we go back? When did Pete Carroll, like, how long has it been since he got out of USC? Like, just ahead of the posse. Like, that's exactly what Harbaugh was doing. Great question. How does this play out? Doesn't it have to play out with some sort of penalties? Because if it doesn't, like the NCAA, after Virginia and Tennessee's attorney generals kind of swung at them, the NCAA's like palms up. All right, we surrender. We're not going to try to enforce anything to anybody. If you can't enforce this, like honestly, if you have somebody from one school dressed in the other school's clothes on their sideline stealing their plays, like if there's not a penalty for that, is there anything else that, like at that point, I don't know, like do we pay off refs? If there's not a penalty for this, then I think the NCAA, it's a very public declaration that like literally do whatever you want.
Chuck, let's circle back to the Razorbacks. Bobby Petrino's running the offense. Taylon Green's come from Boise State. They've rebuilt the offensive line compared to last year's. What are your thoughts, and what's your how do you think Arkansas can do this year with a pretty rugged home schedule and maybe a little more opportunity on the road this year in the SEC for the Razorbacks compared to their 4 home games?
Okay, I am not looking at this through Razorback glasses, but I'm going to tell you, there is a chance. A lot of stuff's got to go right. There's a chance, at least, for a end of September, you roll into Arlington 4-0. It ain't easy, and you may be hanging on for dear life. But at Oklahoma State, that's not so horrible. And then at Auburn, pains me to say, that's not so horrible.
Auburn grad, by the way, for those that don't know.
Oh, yeah. So there is a chance. Now, Texas A&M, that's a bone to be chewed. Then Tennessee rolls in. So, like, none of the – oh, and by the way, here comes some LSU. I mean, you may just be looking at Mississippi State as we need somebody to treat like a pinata. Like, it may be a tough 3 or 4 stretch after that. There is a chance that you come out. I'm going to tell you, the weird thing is I watched Arkansas. It's like a colander on defense in some seasons. They were not good last year, but they were better. And I'm like, okay, well, that shows that they could be better this year. And I was talking with Ty that I like the defensive line. I really do. And it's not just Landon Jackson out there who, like, produces in the SEC, like, better than anybody else who's coming back on the defensive line. And some voters didn't notice him at all, and then some put him as second or third team. It just blew my mind a little bit. By the way, can I ask y'all something? I was talking about Landon Jackson. I'm like, how did y'all not see him? How is he not a first-team guy? Isn't this what's missing? Like, where around the SEC is Godzilla and Rodan coming off the edge? Like, where is Jadeveon Clowney? Where is that big monster mean end that's like 12 sacks?
Yeah.
I don't see Will Anderson in the SEC this year. That's the one thing I was like, there's something missing this year. There ain't no Arden Key.
Yeah. Harold Perkins might be the closest, and he's not coming from the spot you mentioned. I mean, when you think about headline defensive guys, particularly in the front 7, you're right about that. Arkansas lost 5 games last year by a possession or less. They did get some defensive scores. As you mentioned, they were serviceable on defense. Is Bobby Petrino enough to make a difference in those close games? Is he worth a touchdown a game just calling the plays?
Could be. He is. I mean, it's been a minute, but what he did at Arkansas was real, and it's not like he forgot how to call plays. There was a funny thing. Did y'all see the comments? Gene Chizik came back to work for Mac the second time, and going into his second season, he admitted this, and I was like, I don't know if I'd have said this. He said, being away for 5 years or whatever, I came back. It took me a full season to understand what was going on. Like, he literally said the game changed so much in 5 years that North Carolina's defensive coordinator didn't really understand what was going on. And he said some of the rules were new, too. I was like, holy smokes. I don't think that's happened to Bobby Petrino. But he's not operating with, like, this is not an even amount of talent. You mentioned the offensive line. It's last year what I saw, and it's totally different folks now, but you mentioned in the close games, and my mind went, oh my God, that BYU thing. There were home games where Arkansas had the lead and the timeouts and possession, and then, like, the final quarter didn't look like any of that was true. And it's all new, and it will be better I don't know anybody who brings in an OC, and then after like 6 or 7 games, it's like, okay, that was a mistake. And so that was Dan Enos, and here comes Petrino. I'm excited about it.
Last thing, Chuck, before we let you go, it seems like that the oxygen in the room has been sucked out by Arkansas basketball. I think Cal's, who also had a press conference this week along with Sam, was paid more attention to than what Sam had to say yesterday. Could that be a benefit for Arkansas football flying under the radar, or is that just a nothing burger as we let you go.
That's interesting. Don't we all look at Dave Doran at NC State and think, hey, he's put together a pretty solid program? Go back and look, and I want y'all to do this. Go look at either the last regular season or tournament or whatever wins for men's basketball, women's basketball, and baseball. It's like 1979, 1983, 1988. And then this year, what did you get? Women's team Final Four, men's team Final Four, baseball, College World Series. Suddenly Dave Doran's looking around going, damn, I've been the best guy here, and now the pressure's on me. I think that's what it is. I think Arkansas, what I grew up, this is so weird. I grew up indoor track. I was like, Arkansas is good at it. How does a kid in Georgia, because you're elite at that stuff. Basketball, I was like, Arkansas is great at it. We saw baseball this year. Football is supposed to be in that group too. I think it shines a light on it, actually. I really do.
Well, hopefully it's one of the things, the rising tide lifts all boats. Seems like the baseball program's been there a while. Just had some couple of seasons that ended prematurely in some people's minds. Well, Chuck, we'll leave it there, man. We appreciate you joining us this morning, and we'll catch up as we get closer to football season.
Yeah, thank y'all. I appreciate the invite, man. Thank y'all.
All right, Chuck Oliver with us here on the Morning Rush. You can find him online at his show every afternoon online, and if you're in Atlanta, check him out. Really good.
6 hours of radio every day. Ooh. 11 to 1 and 3 to 7.
Well, a lot of that content probably gets rewashed and used twice in that same 6 hours. Hey, how was Hardee's yesterday? I saw some of the videos. Looked like you had a pretty active 2 hours of people trying to get qualified.
We had 5 people attempt, 4 came through.
Right.
We had two other guys, 2 brothers that stopped by. One's an Eagles fan, one is a Cowboys fan. They're going to do it this next week. They were on the clock, so they didn't feel like they should be taking their boss's money by trying to participate. So they're going to come in next week. So, yeah, we had 7 or 8 people stop by, and 4 have gotten in, Tommy.
So how many's that total
8.
we got? We're at 8. So, we're not out of seats at the table, but, we're a little more than halfway there right now. So if you think you can eat a monster burger in 150 seconds or less, you can reserve your seat at the final table on August the 24th, where we give away a trip to see the Cowboys and the Eagles. Big C's got your next chance. That's tomorrow on Thursday from 11 to 1. Great way to start the new month tomorrow. Getting yourself qualified. We'll be about 3 weekends out. That will be at the Rogers Avenue location between 11 and 1 for Hardee's. That's over near Northside High School in Fort Smith. So if you're south of the tunnel, come join us. Hardee's tomorrow from 11 to 1. Another chance to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime.
So beefs this morning, a beef of my own. It took me until about 6:30 to realize the significance of this day. Paul Eels, unfortunately, back in 2006, passed away right before that season. This is a day that lives in infamy for Arkansas fans because of the significance that Paul had on not just the football program, but various other portions of the athletics department as well. Paul is a guy that I listened to growing up. My dad, and he did this with Chuck too, my grandpa loved listening to the radio while he was at the game. And I forget, Chuck has told me what that radio's called before, but like when he's actually at the venue of whatever football or basketball, he'll listen to that said radio. But Tommy, I know you had, if I remember correctly, you were at that golf tournament that day, right?
It's burned in my memory. Clay was one of the last to visit with Paul. I was leaving. Houston had always had a media / the car dealers that provided cars for the coaches, the media, and the coaching staff would all play golf together right before camp started.
Mm-hmm.
We'd have a day, and coach would do a press conference a lot of times. It's very relaxed. Always had a meal, and it was just, kind of a way to end summer and start, the heavy lifting of football season that was ahead. And media from all over the state would come up, and of course, the voice of the Razorbacks, Paul Eels, would be there, and he loved golf. And it was out at Stonebridge, and I remember we were leaving there, and I didn't know Paul well, but I like you, grew up listening and admired, and hope to grow up and be like Paul Eels someday, and would have loved to have had just a thimbleful of the talent we all heard. And the excitement in his voice and all those things. And the kindness in his heart, the kindness in his spirit He knew me, but I knew him outside looking in a lot better. But he'd call me by name. He didn't need to do that. I was a 20-something-year-old guy working here at ESPN Arkansas at the time, and aspiring in this industry. And I was walking across the putting green on my way to my car, and he was chatting with two other folks, and he stopped what he's doing to wish me well and look forward to, just like Paul would do for anybody else. Look forward to seeing you at the games. And on I went, and that was obviously the last time I spoke with him, and obviously the next morning, this was before social media and news broke the way it does today. The next morning, we all woke up to the news because I went to bed early to come in to do the morning rush the next day. And the news had broke that night at about 10:30, and Channel 7 in Little Rock, of course, was the one that released the news. But the next morning's when a lot of us woke up to find out about Paul's passing. And it's a sad day. We had just started kind of a new version of the morning show and calling it the Morning Rush. And Paul was one of our first guests that we had on. And that was the week prior to his passing. So we had just had a on-air conversation that day. But it was a sad day that even kind of like for Cardinal fans when Jack Buck passed away, you mourned and you were saddened like a
piece
family.
of you died that
Well, it was
day.
like a family member had left you. And Paul, it was the same way for Razorback fans. It was like you said, a piece of your heart had left because we all sat in tree stands across our state in the fall and listened to Paul describe the action. We can't think about the miracle on Markham without Paul's voice in our head. We can't think about some of the biggest memories of our childhood or early adulthood in Razorback sports without Paul Eels describing it for us. So, a little piece of all of us unfortunately died that night on the interstate.
So I was in Nashville this summer, and Joe Fisher, who was the voice of the Vanderbilt Commodores for a little bit, him and Paul worked together in Nashville. People forget Paul initially was in Nashville before and it's hard to picture someone leaving Nashville for Little Rock, but it happened. Paul took the job. I forget the station he was at in Nashville, and Joe and I were just talking about him because again it was coming up on the day, and just like I couldn't tell you the last time Joe Fisher was asked about Paul Eels, but just went on this like soliloquy and went into all these different things. And this is a guy he hadn't talked for nearly 20 plus years. But like you have that image that is stuck in your head, or the memories that all these days later. You mentioned Miracle on Markham.
Line of scrimmage, the 31-yard line of LSU. There's the snap. Jones looking. Jones now throwing to the end zone, and it is.
Of course, we have Matt, who's with us, but that is, I will never forget that. I've listened to that call hundreds of times, and we're forever grateful for what Paul Eels did for this athletics department.
Well, he was one of the kindest men you'd ever meet, and that's what people really remember that ever got to meet Paul and know who he was, even just on the surface. One of the kindest people you'd ever meet. All right, it's What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. Selection, quality, and value. You'll always find it at Richard's just off College in Fayetteville, or find them online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
All right, we got hour number 2 coming up. We're going to hear more from Sam Pittman. Want to hear from you as well at 877-377-6963.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Nothing says summer fun like fishing with a Thill Bobber with the family. America's favorite floats by Thill are available in a variety of sizes and colors. These premium balsa wood floats are made by the thousands at Pradco in Fort Smith, Arkansas. They are great at detecting the slightest bites by fish and work great in tandem with crickets and redworms. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere. America's favorite floats by Thill.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with the exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
This is Daryl Johnston with Hashtag Managed IT Services. We are excited to now be part of AAA Business Systems. Hashtag will continue to handle every IT need your business will have, and now, as part of AAA Business Systems, we can handle all of your document printing and storage solutions. Together, we have the expertise to meet all of your office technology needs. Find us online at aaabm.com or call us at 471-1771.
Hey, Wes. Billy, H is for horses. I have an idea to bring in more customers. What you got? We yell on the radio, "Woo! Pig suey!" We're going to call the hogs? Yeah, we call them all in. Woo! Pig suey! Come get your pizza at Jim's Razorback Pizza.
I'd rather not.
Don't you love the hogs?
Of course. But we can't call our customers hogs.
But they're hog fans, and our name is Jim's Razorback Pizza.
Billy, I love your enthusiasm. Look it, if you think we should do it, then let's do it.
Woo! Pixie!
What about moo instead of woo? We use Wisconsin cheese.
Really? You and them dang cows. Woo! Pixie!
Jim's Razorback Pizza. Blessed to serve you. Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything. Service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials. Tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com. Schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the middle to upper 90s. We will see mainly clear skies overnight, low near 75. Sunshine, upper 90s on Thursday, and then Friday, more of the same with plenty of blue sky and sunshine, a high upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 29 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is driven by Rath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and online at rathauto.com. You're rolling with Rath on the Morning Rush.
All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath.
Sam, SEC Media picked you guys 14th. Are you guys using that as a motivational thing to me?
I don't know. We haven't had our team meeting yet. We might. They picked a lot of people 14th. We might.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow. It's
We get first hour of the Morning Rush here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. Got a chance to share some stuff that Sam Pittman had to say yesterday, including the little back and forth exchange there talking about how low his team's ranked preseason-wise. Doesn't mean they're going to end up there. To wait and see, find out this year. Talked with Chuck Oliver, a little college football, not just some Sam Pittman and SEC stuff, but also where the sport is headed, plus some beefs. Now, we're going to get a chance to talk with former Arkansas quarterback and Fayetteville High School head football coach Casey Dick, who had a chance to have Taylor Green on campus and get his insight on Taylor and some other stuff coming up.
All right, brought to you by APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group. They are the top ready-mix company in the area and many other things. They road construction, they have quarries, they sell gravel, sand, all the aggregates you need for any construction site. They need people to join their team right now. If you're a licensed CDL driver, they can take care of a great opportunity for you. If you're tired of being out as an over-the-road trucker, well, why don't you be at home, be with your family, get great pay, benefits, insurance that's full insurance package, retirement, profit sharing. I bet your job doesn't have all those features and benefits for you. Plus, great vacation policies. The reasons why to go to work at APAC are endless. My brother's been there more than 15 years now and absolutely loves the work culture at APAC. Go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
So at the tail end of the show of this first hour, we played the Miracle on Markham with Matt Jones. Another Miracle on Markham guy, Casey Dick, again, was a part of the 1-2 London Crawford in 2008. I'm sure as we reminisce about that play, Casey, that was probably a little nerve-wracking. Take us back to when you get that play call in from Coach Petrino, kind of what's going through your head on that 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 that helped you guys beat LSU.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I think it was a great play call now, and it's been a great play call for, 20 years almost now. But just a real, kind of gutsy call on 4th down. I don't think anybody in the stadium actually thought that we would do what we did, but it was a great play call. Good job making a play. London did a great job making a play on a ball in the corner of the end zone, and obviously it's one of the bigger plays that people still talk about today for Razorback football for sure.
And a similar play called a couple years later with the late Ryan Mallett finding Joe Adams against LSU, funny enough. It was very similar. So you had a chance to have Taylor Green on your campus. What can you tell us about the quarterback that's taking over? You guys have some similarities. First year under Petrino for both of you in 2008, him this year, both Texas guys. What'd you learn about him this weekend, Casey?
Man, one is he's a very, very personable kid. Obviously didn't have to do what he did. Came to our campus and gave our guys kind of some wisdom and talked to them, on an individual basis as well. But, obviously got a really live arm. His physical presence is better and bigger than what I believe a lot of people give him credit for. He's close to 6'7", if not all of it. Just really, really long and lean and really well put together. and obviously has a lot of athletic ability back there to move around, create plays. And defenses are going to have to be able to account for him in the run game. And when defenses have to account for him in the run game because of his ability that he has, it forces everybody to play just a little bit differently. I think the future is awesome for him. As I told him, I said, the amount of responsibility, preparation, and everything that you're going to have compared to where you've been, he already knows because he's been there for 6 months now, is just going to be drastically, a lot higher. The amount of freedom he's going to have at the line of scrimmage is, for the most part, going to be endless, week to week on a weekly basis, just because of, the system that he's going to play in. So he's got a lot of things that are going to be different, but he knows a lot of those because he's been in that system a little bit now. And I'm sure Coach Petrino obviously has done a good job of getting him ready to go.
Coach, this is Tommy. It's good to hear from you. What questions might he have had for you? Or, if you were going to tell him, hey, here's what it's like to be responsible and be accountable to a coordinator like Bobby Petrino, here's 2 or 3 things you better be ready for on a daily basis. What would those things be?
Number one is just preparation, and some people say, well, everybody's got to be prepared. And I'm just telling you that the amount of preparation that you have to go play for Coach Petrino it's crazy. Some of the same stuff that he did when I played, and the preparation that he had, and like there's the weekly binders that he'll get that are, 4 or 5 inches thick, full of information of scout looks and, line of scrimmage adjustments and all those things. Are going to be endless, and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of preparation, which he knows, as I've kind of alluded to, because he's been there. But just the overall preparation, and then secondly, he expects Kalen and everyone at the quarterback position, and really everyone in that room, to be, a really, really big leader because of everything that they, have to put on their shoulders. And again, he's been at Boise, and he understands that. It's kind of funny that he's getting called the old head in the locker room. So he's got a really big and a really good understanding of those things that it's going to take for him to come out here and be really successful.
What's 1 or 2 things you learned as a player under Coach Petrino you've taken to your coaching game now at Fayetteville High School and other stops you've been? What are some things that you've carried forward that you do with your team?
I think number one, just the amount of football knowledge that I learned from him, and the 8 months or 10 months, whatever it was that we had Coach Petrino, was just overwhelming because, he's got a bunch of knowledge in his head that he's able to relay to you, and just, I would say, just overall defensive structure as a whole. I tell people a lot of times when I talk to them, I don't know that I've ever been with another person that I feel like is in the pocket of a defensive coordinator better than Bobby Petrino's been in. I think that, and then I just think, the amount of preparation, he believes in, your preparation being, through the roof every single day, and, just kind of an expectation standpoint for him. I would certainly say those 2 things, just from the preparation, and obviously just the amount of, football knowledge or IQ or things that I learned while I was underneath him.
We're talking with Coach Casey Dick, head coach, Fayetteville High School, former Arkansas quarterback. I hadn't asked you about your team yet, Casey. You guys have a scrimmage upcoming with the Greenwood Bulldogs, one of the better teams in the state. I know there's going to be a lot of people paying attention to that. You guys lose, again, Drake Lindsay last year's squad. What can you tell us about your squad heading into this fall?
Yeah, I think, number one, we're excited about our squad. When you look at them, there's a lot of guys that had a lot of experience last year, and at some other places as well, that I think will be, key contributors on our football team. When you really step back and look at it, I really like our linebacker group. I think potentially there's going to be 10 or 11 linebackers that we could see that, 10 or 11 different linebackers that would play for us on the field at Friday night. So that's exciting. All those guys can run. So that's one of those things that we're looking forward to. One of those guys that can really run for us and play linebacker is Lucas Robley, who, everybody thinks, well, linebackers can't really run. Well, he was the second fastest kid in the state, running 100 meter in 10.56. So I'm not saying all those guys are that fast, but there's a lot of guys back there that will be able to provide, a lot of athletic ability for us and give us a variety of looks. On the defensive side, and then on offense, we'll return the majority of our receivers. Obviously, we're going to lose Mason Spencer, who was a 1,000-yard receiver, but excited about Katavian Taylor. A lot of people saw his ability in the state championship game against Bentonville. He was just a sophomore last year. He'll be a junior this year, but he's really taking the next step for us right now, and really done a nice job. Had a really productive spring and got a couple offers in the spring as well.
Former Arkansas defensive coordinator Barry Odom, now at UNLV as the head coach. His son is your quarterback. Tell us how that all came about, and that's something unique that I think maybe a lot of people haven't, that aren't fans of Fayetteville or don't live in Fayetteville, maybe haven't plugged into yet. Tell us the backstory on that.
Yeah, just kind of a real whirlwind. Obviously, he had been here in Northwest Arkansas for years past.
Played at Shiloh.
Was at Shiloh. Yeah, it was at Shiloh. And then Dad was out at UNLV, and him and the rest of his family decided it was going to be right for them to move back for Garrett for his senior year. And they still had the same house that they had when he was the coordinator here, so it was a pretty seamless and easy transition for him. And he's done an unbelievable job of just being a great leader. I mean, a great leader. Earned the respect of everybody in our locker room since the day that he's walked in. Does everything right that we ask him to do. Plays with tremendous effort, runs with tremendous effort. In our workouts, he's the guy that's pushing everybody, on the offensive side of the ball. So our kids have really bought into him and his ability, and really his leadership style as well.
Casey, you were talking about speed with your linebackers. We saw a former Fayetteville Bulldog speed on display last season when Isaiah took that punt return back to the house. It seems like he's in position where he can make some noise under Bobby Petrino. What do you expect of him this upcoming year?
Well, I really expect him to have a breakout year. I kind of check in with him and Coach Petrino every now and then and just, make sure that he's doing good and, if there's anything he needs to be doing. And Coach Petrino loves him. He loves his, his competitiveness at practice because that's kind of who Isaiah is. And he really likes the way that he goes out there and competes, the way that he bursts after the catch and catches the ball, obviously runs routes. So I think, everybody from that standpoint is in a really great place. I think one thing you'll see different this year is, he'll play a bunch of different areas, not just line up in the slot. That's kind of Coach Petrino's belief. You saw it with Greg, Jarius, and Joe. They didn't just line up playing the slot receiver or line up and play outside receiver. He did a great job of moving those guys around, trying to create some different matchups, to cause some different stress levels on the defense from that standpoint also.
Casey, I also wanted to ask you about C.J. Brown, not one of your former players, but one of your former opponents. I'm sure game planning in with him in the high school ranks is not the easiest thing to do. Heard some positive things about him the offseason. What could you tell us about the Bentonville freshman that might see the field at some point this year?
Yeah, it's faster than what you think. Obviously has a bigger physical presence, really well put together kid physically. Coming from a great program, obviously at Bentonville and the job that they do with Coach Grant. So, number one, he's going to be prepared to be able to play at that level. But number two, he's going to be able to move and do some things quicker than what people, give him credit for. He's a great football player, done a great job of preparation, seen him a couple of different times. So I would expect for him to, probably get in there and see some flashes. And obviously if he goes out there and competes the way they can, and that role will increase, throughout the fall for him as well.
Yeah. Ty mentioned earlier y'all are having your benefit game coming up in a few weeks, August 20th or 19th, somewhere there. You can specify the exact date with Greenwood. Two of the best programs in the state. I know it's not a real game, it's a benefit game, but Coach, that ought to be a lot of fun. You get to see Cash Archer on the defensive side, Kane Archer on the offensive side for them, your team. I think for anyone that's just craving some football, Fayetteville's going to be the place to be in about 3 weeks.
It will. August 20th will be awesome. I think that's the second day of school, first day of school for us, so it'll be a little bit different from that standpoint. But it'll be a place for you to come watch a lot of high-caliber football players, obviously from Greenwood and the amount of kids that they have, the opportunity to go play college football with Cash and Kane. And then they've got a couple of receivers that have transferred in as well. We've got some guys. So if anybody wants to come out and watch some high caliber football, hopefully we're able to put on a great show for everybody on August 20th. Come out here and watch us here at Harmon Field.
You've been working on your speed for the season. Are you ready to go?
I hope so. I hope so, Tom. I hope we're ready to roll. Hopefully we get you August 20th.
Well, Ty, I say that a little tongue in cheek because probably still the fastest coach to run the sidelines would be Casey Dick, because I have seen him take off. He is still fit. He can still. I don't know if it's 4.4 speed still, Coach, but it's sub 5 for sure.
That's all right. Well, I'll take sub 5. I'm getting kind of old. I'm just trying to make sure Tommy doesn't throw a flag.
That's what 16 years removed from playing days.
Yeah,
that's
he can
not,
still motor
that's
a little
not too
bit,
far
so.
along. Well, Coach, we appreciate you joining us this morning, and good luck on August the 20th and this upcoming season. Okay.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right, Casey. Hope to see you soon. One of the really good guys, and I always enjoy being around him and his teams. They're always well prepared, and look forward to seeing you. I'm going to tell you, if you don't have plans August the 20th.
What am I doing August the 20th?
I'm telling you, Greenwood and Fayetteville do their benefit game in their scrimmage. You want to get there early.
Tuesday night?
Yeah, you want to get there early because, by the end of it, a lot of reserves will be in. They're not going to tackle quarterbacks to the ground. It's like it is in a lot of places. But if you want to see a lot of high school talent in a 120 by 50 yard area, I'm telling you, that's the place to be. There's going to be a lot of talk this year about Greenwood and where their place may be in the state, regardless of classification. So if you're in Northwest Arkansas, there's only going to be a couple chances to see Greenwood up there. They'll play Shiloh later on in the year. They're now part of that conference. They're going to be worth the watch. And Fayetteville, in that rugged 7A West, is going to be one of the teams to beat as well.
Can we just schedule a postseason game between Parkview and Greenwood if they end up winning them again? Because that would be what back
what
to
about
back?
Fayetteville or Bentonville or any team that whoever comes out of the 7A West, you've been through a war to get through that league. So and let's not forget Conway and Bryant and some of the Cabot and the teams that have been near the top of the Central. So you're right. I mean, I think there will be, because there has been debate the last couple of years about Little Rock Parkview and kind of where they would stack up with some of the other teams in different classifications. So they don't do a tournament of champions like they did years ago in basketball, but that's one of the conversations that can be left to the message boards to figure out.
Yeah. Because that's Fearless Friday always gets popping around postseason.
Yeah.
I think about I think Coach Dick, if I remember correctly, it's Greenwood and their first game's Cabot, so it's not an easy first 2 weeks.
Yeah, they go to Cabot.
Yeah.
They played them up. They played them up in Fayetteville last year, and I was there for that game. That was a great game. And that game started out. Had 3 safeties in the first quarter.
3 safeties?
3 safeties in the first quarter.
What the heck?
I wish, I don't know what the odds on that would have been, but they'd have been long to think you'd had that.
I did see, I was reading this, I think it was a story in Fayetteville Fire. I saw that Fayetteville High School might get a parking deck, like 800 parking spaces.
They're landlocked, yeah.
Yeah, that they showed the designs to the schematic designs to the board last week, but I would think they've needed a parking deck for quite some time.
Where would they put it?
Don't have the exact location, but I'm guessing just where the parking is, and they just build it up from wherever that is.
I don't know. I wonder if they could go in partnership with the U of A on that to some degree.
For game days?
For game days and stuff.
I would think they sell parking already. I would think that they'll probably do that for that. I had friends, Tommy, that lived right next to Fayetteville High School. Their landlord sold like 20 additional parking spots to Fayetteville students right across the way because they had a huge gravel backyard.
I know that when you go to a basketball game there, I speak from experience, parking can be a challenge.
Coach
there.
Stamps, right? Coach Stamps?
Yep, Brad Stamps. So Vic Rimmer's their women's coach. So, all right, fun conversation with Casey Dick. We'll be talking, maybe we'll talk to some of the other high school guys as we get closer. But Casey, obviously, with a unique perspective on Coach Petrino and spent some time with Taylor Green. We wanted to hear the inside scoop on that. If you missed that, you can go back and catch it in the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast that we'll have up a little bit later on this morning. Brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Great brands like Grand Design, Forest River, and Brinkley, which has all the latest innovations in luxury fifth wheels. You'll find it at Wheels RV. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV they sell. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
All right, we got our daily question coming up. Plus, we'll hear more from your head football coach, Sam Pittman, on the other side.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
And I'm sure glad that y'all are still able to go to your jobs and help and give us something to do besides talk about the bad stuff.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Everybody, woo pig suey.
This is The Morning Rush.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel. 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. It's time for the Morning Rush Daily Question.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
31st day of July. Or First of all, hard to believe that the year has flown by. We got 5 months left, and we start August tomorrow. We're talking to Casey Dick there in the last segment. He's getting his team ready for schooling. Talk about back to school. We're already buying back to school clothes and all these things at my house. So here's the Morning Rush Daily Question, and this may not hit home with you two as well as it will me, but I think the audience will nod their head in large majority. What are 2 or 3 things you've got to get done before school starts? That may not be a deadline for you, Ty, with no kids, or you, Big C, but we kind of got football season coming. I got school coming, kids, football season for me, football season with the Razorbacks for work. I mean, all these things. What's a couple things you need to get done before it all gets going for real here in about 3 weeks?
Should I procreate so I can feel more part of the show when you go into topics like this?
Well, it'd help your show content maybe a little bit.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
I would say
to that process.
Edging the yard, mowing the yard, and getting a sectional and improving the pool house are my school itinerary. I'm making, how you have school projects.
Yeah.
I'm making that my school project these next few weeks.
All right.
As much as possible.
Big C, you got anything on your to-do list before it all cranks up?
Man, it's really hard to answer since I don't have kids. I really don't know.
Well, we need some text on this. 877-377-6963. Let me give you an example.
Okay.
I've got to make sure my son gets a haircut. So he wants
Big B growing it long like
well,
me?
he's got it long. He wants a fresh fade before school starts. So that's one thing I've got to take care of. The other thing, we've got parent meetings that we got to go to at 2 different schools now.
Ugh.
So those are things that are on the list.
Okay.
Shoes, clothes, haircuts are all things. And then I'm trying to figure out how do we squeeze in, because now they both have practices. So, and now it's getting ready to really crank up as far as they've had workouts. Now they're getting ready to have practices. How do you squeeze in any time to do anything?
Like father, son, and daughter, son.
Yeah, any of that type of stuff
time.
before we get going. Plus, I've got Abigail's birthday coming up. So, I mean, there is just a lot to do and a little time to do it.
Jay in Cape Springs suggests that I get married before I have any little ones running around. I would say that's a prudent suggestion on your part.
I think he suggests you get a dog first to see if you can take care of a dog.
Get married first, big dog.
Okay. I think really my idea is better. Let's see if you can care for an animal first before a child.
We got the house has a nice little sunroom for a dog, so whenever I get Riggins, the little lab puppy, that is probably a good barometer if I can actually handle first a wife than a kid running around. I think shoes. You bring up. I had a tradition with my dad. We'd get basketball shoes every summer. Now I followed in my father's footsteps where I do not spend a lot of money on shoes. Really, I mean, you know me. I don't really spend a lot of money on anything. But that was one of my favorite things before every basketball season was getting to buy a pair of basketball shoes. And I'd see kids that would spend, I mean, nowadays it's like $200, $150+ I mean, we stayed in like the 50s and 60s, which I was fine with. But I loved, that was one of my favorite experiences with my father's going to the store with him doing that. So
I wouldn't even want to know how much money my wife has, air quotes, invested in our kids' footwear, their kicks for their fit. You got to learn all these terms now. But what do you do with them when they outgrow them? I guess you sell them back online to somebody because they've got enough pair of them. They don't wear any amount.
Well, you don't have to worry about selling them. You make enough money. Just donate them as a good person. I donate. I donate.
And who made you the arbitrator of what's enough?
I think you make enough. You can just donate them. Just donate them. Be nice. Someone else.
$200 pair of shoes. Just donate them. Then go buy another pair. Yeah.
I wouldn't.
It's just stupid how expensive shoes are now.
Let me tell you this. This is going to sound really backwards. This is coming from someone that's robe is from Goodwill. Like I got a used robe, but I would not.
It's a used robe.
I would not buy a pair of used shoes. I don't know where it's been. That's what's terrifying to me. But I would not buy a pair of used shoes. I have a used robe that I love.
A lot of the ones. Hey, a lot of the ones my kids have, because I'm telling you, these retro shoes and a lot of these things. There's a whole society of this stuff apparently out there online. I'm not plugged into it, but my wife and kids.
You said Laura, because Laura looks on that stuff.
Yeah.
Listen, I have a great stepmom trying to furnish this house. She finds the best deals on Facebook Marketplace and these other Poshmark and these other sites. I'd be lost without her. So I am fortunate, and some days you probably are fortunate. Other days you're like, oh, another shipping box to the house, another Amazon box to the house.
Some days,
every day,
every day.
Well, there's got to be like a what is the word? A plan that gets you a bonus plan, like you get for a certain amount. You buy 7 items, you get one free.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I just don't.
We're just not
I don't realize the benefit of that. All right, that's your Morning Rush Daily question. What are your projects the next 3 weeks? School's starting. I mean, I'm telling you, my honey-do list is growing by the day. That is brought to you by Arts Barbecue. Last night, speaking of honey-dos, I was tasked with one last night. My wife and me and my mom went to Arts like 2 months ago. May have been Mother's Day even. That's where my mom wanted to go. We went like on a Thursday or Friday ahead of Mother's Day. My wife had the loaded baked potato there. They put like their beans, pulled pork, cheese, bunch of stuff in there. And she's like, text me yesterday. I'm still here at the office, like, could you bring me home a loaded baked potato from Arts? That's what she wanted from dinner. Loved it. I mean, that's just one of the things my kids like. And it's great for the kids and the family because my daughter, she'd eat chicken strips every meal. They got great hand-breaded chicken tenders they do. Of course, the homemade fries. And my son loves the burgers there. I'm trying to eat a little healthier, so this is why Arts is great. Grilled chicken breast, broccoli, and green beans. Bam. Low carb, low fat. They had that item on the menu. So everybody got something they wanted. Loaded baked potato for the wife, burger and onion rings for the boy, chicken tenders for the girl, and I got to eat grilled chicken breast. So, which is not really what I wanted, but that's what I needed. So Arts Barbecue, something for everyone. I'd rather have the barbecue. I'd rather have the barbecue with the brisket and the ribs, but that wasn't the right choice for me last night. Arts Barbecue, 452-2550, something for everyone. Rogers Avenue next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
So we had Chuck Oliver on in hour number 1, and Chuck is pretty high on Arkansas's defensive line. Heard a little bit from Sam Pittman yesterday talking about his D-line, particularly on the outside.
Really on the outside, you're looking at Quincy Rhodes and June Kodge, other than Nico and Landon Jackson. So probably finding the fifth guy there is going to be major important to us as well.
So again, depth is going to be an issue with Arkansas football in a variety of places. I'm curious more on the interior, what they do with the defensive line. Jafard is a guy that is like, he looks the part. He looks like Mount Cody-esque when he's 380 some odd pounds or 390, something in that ballpark. But you did lose some pieces from last year, but go back and watch that defense last year. The strength was the defensive line, and I know Chuck, and I believe Clay has said this as well, that was one of the better defensive lines that you've had in recent years. Now, listen, let's be clear about something. You gave up way too many points at home to Auburn. You gave up way too many points at home to Missouri. But look what those guys did on the low. Look how bad Jackson Dart played. Look how bad that Jay Daniels played for a half. Look how bad Jalen Milroe. That was partially because they were under pressure a lot of times, and it started with the front four.
Yeah, and obviously Landon Jackson is going to take you as far as you can go there. I like the depth from the way they're talking. I don't know till we see it. Clay's seen a lot more practice. Clay's under the weather, not going to be able to be with us in the next hour. But when we catch up with Clay next, it'd be a good conversation to have with him because he saw a lot of the scrimmages and had some access that others didn't have, and he really likes that front seven, and in particular that front of the defensive line. And we all know that's the fundamental foundational block of any good SEC team.
So you had 3 more pieces to that, being the linebackers. I know there are question marks. Say who's playing where, what's going to happen with these transfers. You got a couple young bucks that are coming in that might factor in with Wyatt Simmons and Bradley Shaw. Marshall Dix and Larry Worth are the 2 guys you brought over in the transfer portal. One's a Jacksonville State kid. One's a Marshall / former Florida State Seminole. Here's what Coach had to say about those 2 in particular.
You got Stephen Dix, Larry Worth, who obviously did not go through spring ball. Both very physical specimens. I also really like the addition of Wyatt Simmons and Brad Shaw, 2 freshmen. Now, I don't talk about freshmen a lot, but those guys. So I think our depth at linebacker and who starts and all that still obviously up for grabs. We don't know anything about Worth and Dix on the field other than what we saw from where they came from. But I do think that was something we had to address.
Chaz in Fayetteville points out that the offense gave the defense little to no help last season. I agree pretty wholeheartedly there, Chaz. If the defense sees that the offense is more productive, can score points from time to time, that's going to give them life, as it would most college football or high school or NFL teams. You just hope that they don't get worn out as much. Again, depth is going to be an issue with Arkansas football offensively and defensively. You can't have injuries in certain positions, but you just heard him talk about Dix there, not Marshall Dix, Stephen Dix. He played at Marshall, but that is who you added in the offseason, along with your wonder about Xavier Sori, who you brought over. Brad Spence seems to be the guy that a lot of people are excited about, him transforming to the player that maybe he's become. That's what your linebacker corps looks like right now.
It looks like he got the speed there, too. I mean, and that's one thing that, you've got to have in the middle, some versatility and some speed and the ability to line up and defend a tight end. And, hey, they're going to have good practice against one of the best tight ends of the conference when they go ones-on-one. So you'll really know what you've got there in matchups.
Mm-hmm. I was, speaking of speed, I'm going to be honest, didn't listen to a second of Ben Souders yesterday. Not going to. It's not worth my time. Strength coaches say the same thing every year. It's not a shot at Ben. That's just how it is. You could say the same thing about head coaches in college football. But I was reading a piece from Trey Biddy at Hog Sports. Apparently Arkansas has tripled the amount of speed in like the 21, 22 miles per hour category. You think about the elements that Arkansas had back in the Petrino days and how, Matt, listen, there's no better person to speak to speed than Matt Jones. He's on our airwaves every day from 11 to 2. He said that constantly. He said that since he's gone on air with us. Arkansas just hadn't had any speed. He didn't have any in the Bielema years. He really didn't have any the last few years outside of Traylon Burks. Well, I don't know if these guys are going to be just like insane, like track break, but there are some guys, at least from a stat standpoint, that you have on the roster that you haven't necessarily had in recent years.
Well, I've never known a team that was deficient because they had too much speed. So I don't know that overall team speed, if it's not having it is a detriment. So yeah, that's one thing you've lacked, and I think that the inclusion of track coaches coming to talk to our athletes, and Cal talked about that the day before, learning how to run the way you're supposed to. I think the football team should do some more of that too.
You've got the best track program in the country.
Utilize it
as much as humanly possible. Speaking of utilizing something, you should utilize Larry Arath in Arath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Arath Mitsubishi in Springdale with David. We were talking with Larry yesterday. He's a mountain man. He's going to a couple different places, trying to at least in the coming years. Loves to explore. And I know a lot of you like to explore the natural state from time to time, and you can do so in a new or pre-owned vehicle from Arath Auto Resources or Arath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Make sure you're following them on Facebook, whether it's Fort Smith Marshall Restaurant or Tri-State Speedway giveaways. They're always giving away stuff. You can see their monthly specials as well. It's very easy. Just, again, give them a like on Facebook and check out their showroom floor and what they have at both Meineke Car Care Centers at Arath Auto Resources in Fort Smith and Arath Mitsubishi in Springdale. Hog update coming up, and we're going to get into a lot more, including your beefs, in hour number 3.
One of the things we're talking about getting things done, one of the things I'd like to do before school gets here is get up to Gaston's White River Resort. Kids like it in my house because they can fish for a few hours in the morning with me, then they can go to the pool, or they can go back to the cabin and use the fiber high-speed internet. That was one of the things that has really made trips to Gaston's more enjoyable for the kids is, hey, their devices and games and anything they bring work well because their internet's great. So that's good for family trips. The pool makes it great as well. And I think the guided fishing trips with their expert guides are really what set Gaston's apart. 870-431-5202. Gaston's. A first-class time every time.
Find us on 99.5 and 1290 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith in the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs in Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, 97.1 in Camden and South Arkansas, and everywhere on hitthatline.com.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Work now, pay later with sizzling savings at WT Equipment. No money down, no interest, and no payments until 2025 on select New Holland equipment. Choose 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers. 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72 plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter with no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of the summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
I'm ready to roll right now, Ty. Have a great day.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
When I go out to eat, I want something fresh. I don't want something that's been sitting in a freezer or processed. When I go to Lily Sandwich Shop, I am satisfied to the max. That's because Josefa makes everything fresh and uses that River Valley farm fresh produce during our long growing season. Stop by Lily Sandwich Shop in the Bakery District and become another satisfied customer. The sandwiches speak for themselves.
My name is Lily. My Baba makes the best sandwiches at Lily Sandwich Shop. Come by and see them at the Bakery District today.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else. My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's. Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Arkansas's offense was nowhere where it needed to be last season. Sam Pittman would tell you that. Anyone that watched him would tell you that. 2 years ago, you were 7th. 3 years ago, you were 7th in rushing offense. Last year, you were 87th. Sam Pittman wants to get back to the identity that they had the previous years. Here's what he said about the run game and being physical this fall.
Bobby obviously likes to throw a lot of play action. Well, it's not any good if you can't threaten them with the run game. I like all the schematics that we're doing up front with our line, doing a lot of different, other than just, running full zone type schemes. We're doing a lot of different pin and kick out, pin and pulls. And off of that, if we can run the football, which we felt like we had a good spring of physicality on both sides of the ball, then I think we can do the play action as well. So we want to get back to that physical football.
You mentioned earlier Rocket Sanders' injury really derailed the running game. It wasn't just that. The offensive line was nowhere where it was expected to be. You got in a couple new guys, Ronnie Hill, Jaquinda Jackson, who I think personally is going to start. Rashad Dominion's back. And then you've got a new element at the quarterback position. You had KJ running last year. Now Talon will be running this year. Again, I asked the question earlier, what does that look like for Talon running the football? How many times do they call his number during a game? Just thinking about what they do under Bobby Petrino this year.
And how many called runs, particularly when you talk about at least right. No one's comfortable with the depth at quarterback. And you mentioned, man, what if the worst happens and you get down to your third string, and unfortunately you've seen it before. So I expect really early Talon Green's number to not be called on many runs, but what can he make happen when the play breaks down?
Mm-hmm.
When things don't go right, miscommunication, the mesh point doesn't happen, can he scramble and at least get you back to the line of scrimmage? That's the thing KJ was so good at. It may not have been the yards gained, which he had plenty, but it was the lack of negative yards he kept you out of at times because he might get swarmed under in the backfield. And I don't think Talon's going to be as good at that as KJ was, because KJ may get you a 1 yard gain on a play that should have been a 3 yard loss.
Yep.
That's what you're not going to likely have with Talon Green.
I think most notably that game, and I want to say it was Tuscaloosa, where he just brushed off an Alabama linebacker defensive end. Was a fly. And
not going to have that.
Saban was like, I don't think I've ever seen that before, which was pretty funny. Landon Jackson, who we've mentioned this morning, has been named to the Bronco Nagurski watch list, given the best defensive player in college football. It's going to be watch list season. We mentioned Eli Stein being on the Patrick Manley Award for one of the best lawn snappers in college football. You'll hear some more guys. I would guess Luke Haz is going to be listed as a John Mackey Award watch list member as well.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you're anywhere around top 4 or 5 in your conference, in a power conference, you're going to be on those watch lists, maybe deeper than that. So
congrats.
Haas should be there.
Yep. Congrats to Matt Hobbs, who has been named the D1 Baseball Assistant of the Year. You had a stellar regular season for pitching-wise for this Arkansas baseball program. Again, I know it didn't go in postseason like any of us wanted to, particularly Dave Van Horn's staff and players, but again, they were salty for the majority of the year. Number 1 ERA, if I remember, heading into the NCAA tournament.
I still shake my head as you're reading through that we actually had texts and calls for people wanting him and Nate Thompson gone after this last year. He was the assistant of the year? You mentioned all those other stats, and That just goes. It's nature of the beast in college athletics, but there's just some verification, some proof of concept why Dave Van Horn didn't make those changes.
Yeah, here's my thing. I was actually, when I read this little headline, I was thinking about this last night. I understand why Arkansas fans are frustrated with baseball at times because you've achieved everything in the regular season, right? The only thing you do not have within the baseball program is a national championship. You've got the regular season title, you got West titles, you've got all these different things. And then on top of that, by the way, one of your former assistants just won, and before that, you had 2 other SEC teams won. So while, again, what you said about Hobbs is...
just fire somebody. That'll fix everything.
No, what I'm saying is I understand the frustration from Arkansas fans when it gets into June when you're not in Omaha.
I understand the frustration. I don't understand the suggested solutions.
Well, I don't know what the solutions are, but I do think Arkansas fans desperately want a national championship.
I love our texters, but I don't think they know more about what's going on than Dave Van Horn.
I would agree with you on that. All right, other news here this morning. Have you seen the Tyson Razorback Nuggets that have come out?
We actually had a meeting with some folks. So I've known this was coming for a while. I thought it was going to be about now. So I have not had any that I know of in our house, but I've seen the pictures online. This, a brand new marker for them. I imagine there'll be other school logos and mascots or whatever that you can buy them in.
Apparently, it's hitting Walmart in early August.
Yep.
It's at Walmart at Sam's, and it's in early September, so I'm assuming Sam's is September. This will be I would guess, a pregame snack for many Arkansas fans leading up to not just basketball season, but football season too. Will we see more sons, nephews, grandsons named John or Tyson?
Oh, I don't know
this
about
year?
that, but...
someone sent me a screenshot of that question. I was thinking about that. It's like, well, if they win a national championship,
only a guy would ask that question.
If they win a national championship, maybe so. But
you think the man has anything to do with the naming of the child?
I feel like you got a better chance as a male.
No, zero. Yeah.
It depends on the.
You might get to make a suggestion.
It depends on the couple. Like female, you're screwed. You're not. You have no shot of getting to name the daughter. But I think you have a little more based on. Okay, this is not firsthand experience. Based on my friends that have procreated and had kids, they say it's always you have a better chance when it's a male heir. You got no shot when it's a female. No shot.
But you don't get final say.
No, that is true on that. I did see also, Tommy, did you see there $30 tickets for War Memorial?
Yeah, that's not a good sign.
We knew this game wasn't going to be a lot. It's Thursday night. It's the first. You'll have some Thursday night high school games. I guess the benefit to that is there's not a lot of Thursday night high school football games. You'll have some, and you'll have.
I don't know how many you'll have on week 0. Yeah, that's week 0.
Yeah, and you'll have junior high stuff, but it will be like we talked about. It won't be as hot like it was last year when I think they ran out of water in War Memorial Stadium. I think my dad was telling me that. But
you say it won't be as hot. Go outside at 6:30 and you tell me if it's still hot. Get back to me on that.
But it's better than it would be at, let's say, 3 or 2:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, right?
The heat will dissipate over the course of the evening, but when you get to your seat, it's at 6:30. It's going to still be warm, but fortunately the sun will start setting at some point.
All right, that is your hog update this morning. It's brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
All right, we'll get to more of your beefs. What's bothering you in sports? 877-377-6963. You can text those to us on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. They make it easy with curbside pickup. Call and place your order at 479-443-0000 and get ready to grill with kebabs, bacon wrap fillets, and more. It's all at Richard's Country Meat Market, 443-0000, and get ready. That's richardscountrymeatmarket.com as well.
And we'll reflect more on Paul Eels as at this day in 2006 of his passing. We'll touch more on Paul and more on what Coach Pitt had to say coming up next.
Hog fans, this is Matt.
This is Robert.
And this is Elizabeth, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback.
The only local, family, and alumni-owned Razorback store.
Yep, our names are on Senior Walk, and we understand what that charging Razorback means.
From new students to season ticket holders, we have everything you need.
From floor coverings, wall art, game room items, and other stuff to decorate your home or dorm room.
To things for your pet or all sorts of clothing, we have it all.
We feature brands like Champion, Cutter & Buck, Tommy Bahama, Columbia, and many, many others, all in the largest Razorback store south of the North Pole.
You know, your dad's side's starting to go viral.
Hey, what, is that a new thing? Can I get a pill or a shot for that?
Anyway, you can call us at 479-STADIUM or 479-782-3486.
Or drop by the store at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baumwalker Stadium in Fayetteville. Or if you need to, you can shop us online at them web things.
Dad, let me do this. What he means is our website, which is shoponrazorback.com.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go
Hogs.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
This is the Morning Rush.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama tires to get your vehicle ready for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Calling all biscuit lovers. Hardee's limited edition blueberry biscuits are the stuff of biscuit dreams. Our famous buttermilk biscuits with summer's favorite berries baked in, served warm, and drizzled with icing. Don't miss your chance to try this special summertime treat while blueberry biscuits are still in season and ripe for the picking. Only at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusions apply by time of day.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Come on along, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains, it's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you. Come on, head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Head for the mountains of Bush. Like me.
Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Busch, and Busch Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Drake, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors.
4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the middle to upper 90s. We will see mainly clear skies overnight, low near 75. Sunshine upper 90s on Thursday, and then Friday more of the same with plenty of blue sky and sunshine, a high upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell.
PRX
Ready to
Paris
serve.
Fort Smith.
The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 29 days. This hour of the Morning Rush is brought to you by Farm Credit. From farms to land, livestock, equipment, and more, Farm Credit finances it all. Learn more at myaglender.com.
SEC Media picked you guys 14th. Are you guys using that as a motivational thing?
I don't know. We haven't had our team meeting yet. We might. They picked a lot of people 14th. We might.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to the Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is the Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Good morning, gentlemen. Let me rephrase that. You got two gentlemen. You got one ain't earned it yet, has he?
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow. It's
Yeah, I thought Chuck made an interesting point on Monday discussing coaches that can coach great players. It's a lot more difficult to do than you think because certain guys and gals, for that matter, think that they're above coaching. They're above reproach. They're above learning and constructive criticism. But luckily, John Calipari has a resume and a track record where he can say, well, this guy, and on and on and on have been helped because I helped get them there. Now, for Arkansas's football program, they're not cast-offs by any stretch of the imagination. But yet, less blue-chip guys, less 5 stars, 4 stars. It's more of like the average Joe on your football team. Just look at the roster, look at the recruiting rankings, and how it stacks up against the rest of the SEC. I am curious to how Sam Pittman approaches it with his team this year, kind of the back-and-forth exchange. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit, but want to spend some time on beefs here. Maybe the biggest beef is that Clay's not feeling good. That we don't get to chat with him in our usual time on Wednesday morning.
The knowledge and learning we're going to miss this morning. All right, What's Your Beef Wednesday coming up, brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market. Quick word for Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull and the Hickey and Hull Law Partners. If you're going through, sometimes the summer and custody issues and visitation become a real heated issue, not because it's 100+ degrees, but because hey, mom or dad think it's their weekend or it's their week, or, hey, I'm not getting my full 6 weeks. If you're having an interruption to your visitation in the summer, whether you're listening in Benton or Bentonville, there are 4 locations for the Hickey and Hull Law Partners to help guide you through one of the areas they are real experts in, and that's family law with Kevin Hickey and Brad Hull. They have a team of attorneys with over 7 decades of combined experience. Brad and Kevin built this practice on family law, and they have grown their practice to criminal and civil law and other areas. But family practice is really something they do in family law. So if visitation's an issue this summer, see them in Mena, Little Rock, Fort Smith, or in Northwest Arkansas. 479-434-2414 to schedule your appointment. 434-2414 or go to kevinhickeylaw.com.
What's Your Beef Wednesday on the Morning Rush is brought to you by Richards Country Meat Market in Fayetteville. No other meat market is in the same league when it comes to the selection, quality, and value you get from Richards.
Oh, God, it's so good. So good and tasty.
1 block east of College and Rolling Hills Drive at 3042 North Market Avenue. Online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
So hopefully next week or maybe later on this week, we'll get a chance to hear from Clay Henry. Fall camp beginning today. We heard from Sam Pittman yesterday. So again, that is a beef of mine. This morning, we're not with Clay. JT in Hot Springs. Tommy, listen to this. So his beef is United Airlines. Delays, cancellations, rerouting. They left on Thursday. His vacation that he was telling us about. They didn't get their luggage till, I guess, next Wednesday at 8 p.m. How it's possible that 6 days, basically, you didn't have your luggage is beyond me. But that is apparently what JT in Hot Springs went through recently with his travel.
Well, I mean, anytime, and again, this is why I will drive like up to 4 hours to get a flight without a connection, because you end up sitting in airports, layovers. You know, I was talking with a couple friends of ours, went out to the West Coast to play some golf. They sit out on the runway. There's an issue. Then they run too low on fuel. And then by the time they go back, get fuel, then they go back out on the tarmac, and then the pilots time out. Then they have to come back. They made 2 different trips back to the terminal. You know, just stuff like that will drive you nuts. Summer travel can be the worst.
My brother decided it's a good idea.
Sometimes driving is easier.
Yeah. Listen, I'm good pretty much anything under 10. But I would much rather, as you just said, take a direct flight, drive a little more to take a direct flight or shorter flight than I would a couple different connecting flights, because there's always stuff that can go awry in those situations. Like my brother's flying into Los Angeles for a Santa Barbara wedding, which is like 2 or 3 hours. That just, to me, does not seem smart whatsoever. Some beefs this morning from Alabama fans. Tommy, I know you don't follow recruiting or pay attention to it like I do, but Alabama right now does not have a single top 10 recruit in their state committed to the Crimson Tide. A single one. They're either going to Auburn, Ohio State, or like one other school. But think about that. Not a single player in the class of 2025 in Alabama is committed to the Crimson Tide. I was just reading, looking at the pictures, like, there's no way that's right. And again, things are subject to change. We know there's commitment flips all the time, but it's hard to wrap my mind around that. So Alabama fans not happy about that right now.
Well, and obviously what's changed? Well, Nick Saban's changed, but you would think that, and that makes you wonder, in the world of NIL, do these recruits feel less pressure to go to Alabama because it's not Nick Saban's Alabama? You grew up wanting to play for Nick Saban at Alabama. It's kind of like playing for Coach Cal, whether it's Kentucky or Arkansas. That's the guy I want to play for. When the head coach changes and that relationship changes, they're looking elsewhere.
Guys, think about Alabama. You've got, one national championship outside of Bear and Nick, right? Stallings in 92?
Yep.
That's it. Now, there's a bunch of them between those two, but there's this idea that Alabama, over the course of every single decade, every single year, has just been a dominant program, is a fallacy. It's a lie. You've had the two best coaches of all time that have come through Tuscaloosa, right? But you can't really point to any other era and be like, that guy was awesome for 10 years or 5 years or whatever. Stallings got 1. That's it. That's why I'm of the opinion that it's not going to last long.
Had one of the greatest defenses in college football history.
Yes, that's why I'm of the opinion it's not going to last long for Kalen DeBoer. 3 or 4 years, they'll move on to another coach.
Maybe.
And I think Lane Kiffin might be the guy that rolls into that spot if Ole Miss is a perennial power these next couple years.
Well, but what it also does is it tells you how hard it is. I mean, Bear Bryant's era was different. Scholarship limitations, integration. I mean, there's so many things. That was so long ago. Comparing that to today, and I'm going to tell you, even comparing the beginning of the Saban era, that first title in, what would that have been, 08? 9, 10, and then it was Auburn in 11. If I got that right?
9, 11, 12.
Okay. You know, even comparing what happened then to today's world with now a playoff, now NIL, now transfer portal, I don't even know that the comparisons are the same today versus 15 years ago.
No.
I mean, that's how much the sport has changed.
JT also mentions they claimed 5 other titles over the years, including the one in 1964, which we know is rightfully ours. Hayden in Bentonville, Big C, you can jump in on this. He says the refs hate him in NCAA and they keep calling him for late hits. You apparently have an NCAA game corked up. Turn your mic on. There you go. And with Zach, what, later on tonight?
Yes, sir. We just got to iron out the time, but he messaged me yesterday. He said, when you want to do it.
Is this like a practice game or is this for real?
I hope you wax him. I hope you beat him.
No, we need to do this publicly. I thought we were going to set something up so we could all revel in your victory.
We haven't really talked how we're going to do this yet, so I don't know what his plans are.
Maybe you sandbag him a little bit, Christian. Maybe you lose by like a touchdown or something tonight. He feels good about himself, and then when it's all on display, when
Zach
it's full
feel good
public,
about himself,
then you can crush him.
I'll play him more than once, regardless if I win or lose. I'm not, I don't want to just rest on my laurels.
Don't let lose even enter your thought process.
Yeah.
You go win. You don't think about anything but winning. You hear me?
Yes.
You hear me?
I got to block out the
You don't
noise.
think about anything but winning.
I'm a silent assassin. Especially
drop and give us 20.
He's not a talker. Big C lets his play.
I'm really not a talker.
It's a mindset.
When I get
you gotta
into
have that edge, middle edge.
I start getting distracted and crap when I'm talking crap to my opponent. Especially, you got headsets now, and you can talk straight to the person. Now in person, I feel like it'd be amped up times 1,000. But
I've heard a few things come out of the basement in my house. Apparently, they talk to each other downstairs in my house too. So yeah,
where did he learn that, Tommy? Where did he learn those words? The internet.
His mother, I guess.
His mother. Oh, by the way, got a text from Lee in Northwest Arkansas. He says, let's see, I do get to name our first son if me and my wife have a boy. It's already been decided. But if it's a girl, he does not.
Decided, but subject to change.
Subject to change.
Yeah.
What is your beef this morning here?
JT in Hot Springs says Zach does not want to live stream the game just in case he loses. Truth in that?
Well, we haven't talked about it.
Let's see. I think we ought to set up somewhere where we can all come and watch and take a rooting interest in this matchup.
Tonight can be kind of like the preview, unless we can get it all lined out tonight. But tonight we should play it at least before the big game, I guess.
Yeah.
Or we could just wait, but
doesn't sound like you're real decisive on any of this at this point.
No, we're gonna play tonight. I mean, y'all are kind of talking me out of it, but I'm dead set on it.
No, bring the hammer. So I guess my beef, I don't have a beef with, and maybe the beef's with myself, but in certain circles, and this being one of them that I'm in at the moment, I'm like Kirby Smart at media. I can't have a legitimate conversation about this NCAA football. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't play it. So I don't want to say I feel left out. It's me. It's not y'all. I mean, it's not your fault for liking it, playing it, and enjoying it. I just feel a little bit, and it's not FOMO. It's not like, I mean, if I wanted to learn, I'd go downstairs and get on Dylan's and go. But
teach me.
But that's not what I want to do. So, but there is a little bit, these are conversations people are having. Now, maybe, it's certain age groups, obviously, but, it's a circle I can't quite get my feet in right now.
I haven't had a console in nearly a decade, so I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I mean, Big C is kind of our holdout our pathway and connection to the NCAA game. I mean, I've seen it. I played it plenty of times pre-NCAA 14, but I haven't played 25, and I probably won't.
It's not an age thing. I mean, Zach's in his mid-50s, and he's playing. So I mean, it's not always an age thing.
It is. I remember how much fun that game was. I just don't want to make the investment. And like we always talk about timing, football season coming about. Basketball season is going to be just as busy. Probably not going to have time to play.
So will there be the equivalent in college basketball? Is there, I mean, again, here, I'm showing my lack of intelligence about this.
They don't make college basketball games anymore.
Will they now?
They need to.
Would it sell?
Not near the level that the NCAA football game has. But that's to me, like you said.
Colton's screaming from the back row that it would sell.
But it's like
someone will do it because the players are going to want the money.
Yeah.
So there's going to be cooperation to make it happen.
I don't remember what they get a game and they get, is it $600, Big C? I don't know. You're the one that monitors this more than
That
I have.
sounds right. Yeah,
Okay.
I think I've heard that actually.
I think that was the number. But again, I get it because it's what a lot of people talk about.
Well-
I did like how Kirby Smart was like.
And basketball rosters are much smaller. Now, where do you cut it off? Because there's 300 whatever D1 teams. You could, it's kind of easier to do football, but there's more players. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I don't know.
I have not heard Sam Pittman one way or another address the video game. Maybe he has, and I missed it. But he addressed several things yesterday in talking with the media, and you can listen to it on hitthatline.com and our YouTube channel as well if you want to do that. One thing he was passionate about, we're always passionate about, our What's Your Beef Wednesday, but he's not a fan.
By the way, What's Your Beef Wednesday brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market.
Yeah, and he is not a fan of the 105 potential roster change.
Yeah, Sam, you brought up the 105 a minute ago. What's your overall take on that? It seems like, it's good. Obviously, more kids can get on a scholarship, but if they're going to limit you to 105, you're losing, 15 players or whatever, or 15 roster spots. Just what's your overall take on that?
Well, I really don't like it, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, you're going to be able to chop up your scholarships, which now it's 85 fulls. You're going to be able to, reward some other guys. The problem is, are we going to go 85 and 20? Nobody in the SEC wants to lose the walk-on program. Nobody. I mean, hell, we got the Burlsworth Trophy. I mean, nobody. And if you go down and look at the list of guys who have won that as starting out as walk-ons, and have won that trophy, it's an incredible list of kids that, we had one in Grant Morgan. Imagine Grant didn't play at the University of Arkansas because we couldn't eventually help him. Nowadays, every walk-on's probably going to get a little bit of money and something like that. Imagine he went D2 or whatever like I did. We don't want to lose the walk-on program. So as I understand it, we're not going to have to. But if the Big 10 or the Big 12 is going to 105 full scholarships, at what time is the SEC going to do the same thing? So I just don't think it's enough. Our number was 110. I felt like that was fair.
So that was, of anything he said yesterday, he talked a lot of football position groups and whatnot, but I could tell if all the questions he kind of took in yesterday, that seemed to be the one he was really harping on.
And this will flush itself out because I don't know at a school like Memphis or Tulsa or, any of like a American Athletic Conference, Sun Belt schools, they're going to have the opportunity to fund more scholarships. Will they? I don't know. Just because you can have up to 105 doesn't mean you have to. But obviously, if the SEC will set some type of standard, my guess is it will be the maximum. But are there opportunities? My point is, there are opportunities for those kids in those last 15 spots that would be splitting a scholarship that could go somewhere else now and maybe have a full ride. I don't know.
Well,
maybe that opportunity already exists.
Unless I misread it, you can't. The football's head count. So,
but he just said, didn't he just say that they could bust up the scholarships? I thought that's what I just heard him say.
Unless I misread it, football and basketball are head count sports. So by saying head count,
play that again. What he just said. Maybe I misheard what he said there.
It's pretty long because it's got a Bob question.
Yeah, Sam, you brought up the 105 a minute ago. What's your overall take on that? It seems like, it's good. Obviously, more kids can get on a scholarship, but if they're going to limit you to 105, you're losing, 15 players or whatever, or 15 roster spots. Just what's your overall take on that?
Well, I really don't like it, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, you're going to be able to chop up your scholarships.
Yeah, right there.
Which
all right.
Now it's 85 fulls. You're going to be able to, reward some other guys.
All right. When he says we can chop up the scholarships, that's.
I don't know. Maybe the intel that I read, I think it was Ross Dellinger's report that was wrong. Maybe it's not. Again, I don't know. That's the best thing.
You just heard what he said. I mean, am I not hearing chop up means reward more? And he said reward more people. So that's what I'm hearing. So maybe the last 20 guys are splitting 10 scholarships. I don't know. I mean, I'm just, kind of like baseball's been doing.
Maybe so. Maybe I need to reread that report. I just know what I read said.
I mean, you just heard what he said. I mean, I think he's plugged in. I think I would assume the head coach knows what he's talking about. So I just want to make sure I wasn't mishearing what he said and how I'm interpreting that. So if you're hearing it different, let me know. But that's how I hear it. So maybe maybe instead of half scholars, or maybe guys that were getting zero are now getting halves, or something along those lines. So, hey, Sassy's Barbecue was National Wing Day. Was it yesterday?
Monday
was National Wing Day. We should have went to Sassy's because they got the best smoked wings. The honey sriracha wings are. I don't know of the time I go to Sassy's that you don't at least start with that, or many times that will just be my lunch. Give me the 6 wings, maybe a side. The honey sriracha are great. Their smoked wings are fabulous. Great way to start the meal, or just make it your meal at Sassy's. And with games coming up, we're inside 30 days now. Get your Razor Packs. You can go online to sassysbarbecue.com and get your Razor Packs and everything ordered for your home gates or your tailgates, and start making your menu plans. Make Sassy's a part of that as well. And, of course, with all the TVs and the patio and everything, it's the perfect place to watch games as well. Sassy's Barbecue and Sassy's Original Red House and Sassy's Barbecue and Grill. 2 locations in Fayetteville, one on College, one just off the Weddington exit on Steamboat. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
Just got some clarification. Taylor McGillis, Senior Associate Athletics Director, is listening this morning, and he said, you're right, you can split them up.
Yeah.
I guess I either misread what Ross said, or that was incorrect last week when we were talking about it. So I guess that sounds like that he's going to be able to do that. Still sure, again, Sam Pittman does not seem to be for. I haven't heard a single other SEC coach touch on it just yet, more because the report came out more recently and it was post-SEC Media Days. But I'd be curious to hear what other coaches feel like. I would guess, Tommy, it'd be pretty along the lines of what Sam had to say there. Because, you think about for Drink and Cody Schrader, you think about for other coaches, like the 12th man program that we were talking with Chuck Oliver with, and Mike Elko, I would think that a lot of the coaches feel the exact same way about this.
I just wonder what administrators, what would a Hunter Yurachek telling you exactly what they think about, because this has to concern them. That's more. It's like 50 some odd scholarships campus wide. You're now funding. Well, do the math on that. You know how expensive it is to go to school.
Mm-hmm.
Those aren't free to the athletic department. That's 50 more full cost of attendance. You just keep going down the list of all the things that you run into that are going to increase cost as a result of this. Plus, now you've got revenue sharing coming. You got NIL. You're still raising money for. It's never endless spending right now, which sounds great. It's good for the athlete, but the money has to come from somewhere, and you can't keep saying, well, the TV networks are going to pay for it all. Those trees don't always grow to the sky. I don't think they have an immediate problem, but this is going to add to their problems long term and how you fund everything and where else do you cut costs. Hey, what's going on the grill tonight? Whatever it is, you'll find only the best at Richard's Country Meat Market, from the aroma of steak to perfectly flavored gourmet burgers. Man, a good homemade burger on some charcoal, be good right now. Fresh kebabs and more. It's all at Richard's Country Meat Market, 3042 North Market Avenue, just off College, and online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
All right, we're going to hear more from Coach and from you coming up.
Just say, Alexa, play ESPN Arkansas.
ESPN Arkansas from TuneIn.
This is former Arkansas quarterback Casey Dick, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Hey, this is Arkansas pitcher Gabe Gacko, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
He struck him out swinging on a breaking ball.
The paint store in Van Buren is still the place to go to when doing the job right really matters. Our unique line of Richards paint products was chosen by me to perform for you. This is Sue, and my 35 years of experience ensures you get the right paint and the right color. That's important to you and me. Thank you for your support. Come see what I'm talking about. 1414 Fayetteville Road, the paint store, Van Buren.
AAA Business Systems is your printer, copier, and production print solutions provider. What makes AAA unique? Ricoh, Sharp, and Brother Equipment. Fast, friendly service from our office technology experts. All-inclusive service contracts, managed IT services, and 4 locations statewide. AAA Business Systems. Find us online at AAABM.com. AAA Business Systems. Anything else is just a copy.
Do you need an attorney that you can actually speak with? You need Hickey & Hull Law Partners. The attorneys at Hickey & Hull understand the importance of client communication and are taking the time to meet you, respond to emails, and return calls. Every case is important, and they strive to give each one the time and attention it deserves. Call today, 479-434-2414, or visit them online at kevinhickeylaw.com. Hickey & Hull Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith. World-class trout fishing is the star of the show at Gaston's White River Resort, where a few days away from all the worries and stress will make all right in your world. Gaston's has friendly, experienced guides to help you land your limit. Enjoy your stay at Gaston's in one of their private cottages, or reserve a lodge for up to 20 people. Call now and let Gaston's help you plan your next getaway on the White River. 870-431-5202. That's 870-431-5202. Or learn more at Gastons.com. Gaston's, a first-class time, every time.
Hey, this is Dr. Charlie Liggett with River Valley Smile Center. We dial 782-8940.
Coach Todd Holland, head baseball coach of the University of Arkansas Fort Smith Lions. I call 782-8940.
Stay cool this summer with a York high-efficiency HVAC unit. Or for more information on endless hot water and high-efficiency tankless water heaters, give us a call at 782-8940.
That's 782-8940.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Every time you kiss me, it's like sunshine and whiskey.
You put her in her crate, and then you'd hear.
What was that?
Now they'll bring out Cam Little from 50 for Little. And it's a fake. And it's a jump pass. And a right turn. And he's going to score. Touchdown, Arkansas. Are you kidding me? What a play. What a catch.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
Even when Clay's not here, He's still here on our program, and again, missing today because he's a little under the weather. Hopefully, we'll get a chance to catch up with him either later on this week or next week as fall camp begins today. I know it's killing him. He can't be on with us right now.
Yeah. Hey, have your kids gotten to the point where you'd like to have a golf cart for them to get around your neighborhood? I know a lot of the neighborhoods here in Northwest Arkansas, the subdivisions have basketball courts, tennis courts, pools, that kind of thing. And it's so easy to go to either the neighbor's house to play or go to the community areas in your neighborhood with a golf cart. And a lot of families have these now. If you're looking for the one and the place to go, it's Arkansas Golf and Power Sports, where they can fully customize your golf cart. They have Easy Goes, American-made Easy Goes, made in Augusta, Georgia. And they get it right in Augusta on a lot of things, and golf carts is one of them. And Easy Go is the best brand. I love my Easy Go, smooth riding. They can customize your cart at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports with custom wheels, custom seats, lights, electronics, sound, whatever you want to make yours stand out, they can add it. If you want something a little less flashy, hey, they can do that for you too. If you're looking for the best value in bargains. But whether you want gas or electric, I went with the lithium batteries that they get you 8 years warranty, so you can do that as well. It's all at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports. They're in Fayetteville and in Little Rock. I went to the Fayetteville location just off the Garland exit, right next to the rental place. They go opposite way of the auto park and Sam's, and you'll find it right there. Just turn right at the lights. 2733 North McConnell. See Chris, and they'll get you fixed up with a great Easy Go cart. Or go to arpowersports.com. You'll see my friends at Arkansas Golf and Power Sports for your Easy Go golf cart.
Are you guys familiar with Scott Hansen?
The guy that does Red Zone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's also doing the Gold Zone with the NBC, doing Team USA stuff, kind of bouncing around a little bit. Apparently, he got injured during the course of the Gold Zone. And I was thinking about, when is a time that you've caused pain to yourself watching your favorite team? I always, I'll kick and, my shin will get hit or something, or I'll, react a certain way I won't mean to. It's always my shin that takes the brunt of a crazy play, crazy ending, or whatever.
It's the worst.
It's awful. Funny Bone is pretty up there as well, but apparently, it's nothing bad. He was just bleeding a little bit, but Hansen, during the course of his job, does that. And I'll reffing from time to time. Do you ever fall, or do you actually get hit? You occasionally see this rep that gets in the middle of a play, like the Blake Kern play, for example, that we just played. That rep got clocked.
It happens. With where I'm at on the field in the offensive backfield, it's less frequent. But man, at umpire, right there with the linebackers, you got to have your head on a swivel. Yeah,
it's got to be one of those things you got to be careful with. Well, I mentioned,
but the worst place is on the sidelines, because when you get hit there, it's going to hurt.
Ugh. I mentioned Scott Hansen, of course, what's going on in the Olympics. I'm going to be honest, still a handful of days into this, I have not watched 1 second live of the Olympics. I haven't, not even basketball. And I don't think to turn it on. Now, there's gotten some views. Tommy, I saw that the women's basketball team got 3 million views. I wonder how many more they would have gotten with Caitlin Clark being a part of that team. I don't know if it would have doubled it, but I would guess that it would be more than that. I thought of all characterizations of the Olympics thus far. The best one came from former ESPN radio host, longtime PTI host, Tony Kornheiser. Here's what he said in regards to a specific sport within the Olympics, gymnastics, and I'm with him 100%.
I don't really understand what I'm watching. For me, it's like diving. I don't know what's good and what's not good. If you don't fall down, I think you're great. And personally, I couldn't even get up on the balance beam. I could not. I could not stand on the balance beam. I could not get on that floor, that exercise where you go from bar to bar. So God bless them all.
You know, when you watch a sport and you have no idea what's going on, gymnastics is up there for me. I know outside of, as you heard Tony say, if fall's not good in any of the beam or anything else, but I can't tell you what's good, what's elite, what's average. Just, it's another event, so like a lot of the events, that's just I don't know what's good or bad.
I'm watching street hockey yesterday. I guess that's what you call it. It's like hockey, except there's no skates, and it's, I guess, a cross between hockey and lacrosse. My question is, where do you play this competitively at a high level to get to this point in the other, 4 years of the out of the Olympic cycle. There's so many ways. How do you get started in something? I've got so many questions on the obscure stuff. I mean, I understand kids and people play street hockey. I just don't understand how it's organized and you get to the point where you could be an Olympian at this. And then there's international competition. But maybe we just don't understand the culture of the rest of the world. Maybe that's
I understand the curling rules.
In the Winter Olympics,
yeah.
I like watching it. I know that.
Like bullseye. I mean, it's kind of like darts, basically, with
No, it's
ice.
like shuffleboard on
That's
ice.
probably the better way to put it.
Better way to put it. So I like the obscure stuff because you never see it, but I always got lots of questions on how do you even get started
How do
doing
you
that?
get started?
They didn't have that at my boys' club back in the day.
No.
You know,
especially in Arkansas.
that wasn't in
where-
my PE class.
Yeah, it's football, basketball, and baseball for the most part in Arkansas. The other sports are a little obscure.
Yep. Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, is at the entrance to Riley Farms. They provide every type of dental care.
This video is powered by the Pro.
Same-day crown service that's available as well. And they've added Dr. Blaine Van Nice to their staff. So see Dr. Sparkman, Dr. Van Nice, and Dr. Farmer there to have a better smile, a more confident smile, and a comfortable experience every time. 226-3500 for your appointment, 226-3500 or valleyfamilydentalpractice.com for their new website.
All right, we got our SEC update, and we'll recap and reminisce a little about Paul Eels coming up.
Arkansas's home for the best sports talk.
All right, you go do the research.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is former Arkansas Razorback and current OKC Thunder guard Isaiah Joe, and you're listening to The Morning Rush.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment or visit Valley Family Dental.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacale.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot.
It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill.
So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas.
Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric.
Of the area's premier companies. If so, Forest Grin wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forest Grin has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forest Grin is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forest Grin is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forest Grin legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforestgrin.com. That's goforestgrin.com. Forest Grin Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Except we've got SEC finals. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
All right, time to get into your SEC update this morning. Listening to John Calipari earlier this week and then also getting an email yesterday about probably not going to be able to change seats or move up within Bud Walton Arena. Tommy, I think it was the end of last week that you were discussing just wanting to see the schedule. I'm starting to get more of an itch to see the upcoming SEC conference basketball schedule when it comes to just like when the dates are.
We know the opponents and venues. We just don't know dates, but I want to fill in the rest of the cracks. And I'm telling you, there's people that have season tickets that, the run-of-the-mill directional school you played on a Wednesday night wasn't priority. I think that's going to be a priority this year. And for many fans in our state that don't have season tickets, those early season non-conference games at home are going to be maybe some of your rare chances to get to see this team. I think season ticket holders are going to prioritize conference games, so tickets are going to be harder to get just from buddies, friends, or secondary markets. So I know this. I'll plan my schedule a little more around the basketball season this year. So, I mean, I haven't let too much that I wanted to do or need to do get in the way, but it's going to take a higher priority, and I don't think I'm alone in that. Yeah, and I think November and December games are going to be the same way.
Yeah, it will definitely be heavily attended this upcoming season. You think about the non-conference games in addition to what's coming into Bud Walton Arena. I'm ready for that conference. Again, dates to come out, times to come out. We're waiting on the SEC to release those publicly. Other news, Sam Pittman, again, with the media yesterday, talked plenty of things. I would say of all your position groups, right, when you look up and down, on offense, your tight end group is maybe the most SEC caliber of any on that side of the football. Here's what he had to say specifically about Luke Hasz and the rest of those guys.
Gums sticks out in my mind right away. Luke is 242 and looks good and doing well. Polska is a guy that's got to come on. We got to find out. We liked him in the spring. We need to love him. And so that's another one. Having Ty Washington back is going to help us as well, I think. Obviously, you guys knew he played some good ball and then unfortunately got hurt. And so I think those four guys are going to put a good group together, and then we'll wait and see where Shamar and them guys end up.
So you remember the Ole Miss game, I think it was, where Has gets injured within one of the first few plays. Then Ty Washington just played like a man possessed. Had, I think, 2 touchdowns in that one and had some success that season. Gums was still trying to adjust from North Texas to the SEC, and then you heard Poska, the kid they plucked away, I think it was Eastern Illinois, out of the transfer portal, more of a run-blocking tight end, it sounds like. That is, again, a position group. Bobby Petrino was able to utilize tight ends. You're hoping he can do the same with this guy. And you got a kid that's heading into his sophomore year that's pretty highly coveted across the country. I mean, Has is, after last season, even though the injury, the broken collarbone got him early, he is a guy that could really blossom in his year 2 at Arkansas. And seemed to be a connection between Taylor Green and Andrew Armstrong. Hopefully, Taylor and Luke form one pretty early on as well.
Yeah, and his injury last year certainly derailed the offense. I think with a hopefully more seamless offensive attack with no change in coordinator, I think it's hard to put a value on what was going on behind the scenes because it's hearsay, but we've heard the players talk about this. No rifts over NIL, things like that were rumored to going on. Man, you just quell a lot of that. This could be a much better football team. And those close one-possession games, get half of them to go your way this year and see what happens. I'm not saying you're going to be in the playoff, but you could certainly be a team that's in a bowl game and win some games that I think the fan base doesn't expect to win.
Well, you mentioned who's on the team versus kind of who's off the team, maybe some issues in the offseason. I feel like I hear this every year, but this is what Coach said yesterday.
Who we get on the team, possibly who's not on the team. A lot of things go in with culture. You guys are in the workforce and you're with people and you're going, I guarantee your mind can think of that guy or that lady. You're going, man, if she wasn't here, how much different, or he wasn't here, how much different would it be? But saying that, hey, I want to tell you who that person is right now. I'm not calling nobody out. But sometimes you get that and your culture becomes very powerful. It can become powerful either way. And right now, it is very, very strong in a positive way.
Again, this is not a shot at Sam Pittman. It's just the same rhetoric you hear from every college football coach. Same as you would hear from Ben Souders, the strength and conditioning coach. We're faster, we're tougher, we're stronger. I feel like I hear the same every fall camp opening press conference. And I hope it's actually true. Again, coaches say this stuff all the time. It's very coach speak. But again, you can make you went 4-8 for a variety of reasons last year. Maybe it was chemistry. Maybe it was the fact you couldn't block anybody. Maybe it was the fact you didn't have any luck going your way. Yes, luck plays a factor in college football, and you did not get an ounce of it last year in several single-digit losses. Did not get an ounce. Every single break went the other way. Now, good teams make their own breaks, as we know, over the course of time. Arkansas just, again, didn't have any this year. Maybe you do this year. Curious if there's actually, again, truth with that statement that you heard Coach make about his football team. And 20-some-odd, I think it's 29 now, if I remember that right, days till you play UAPB, Tommy? Yeah, 29 days. So, again, it's quickly approaching. And that is your SEC update this morning.
Brought to you by our friends at Oaklawn Sports. We're talking about football season being right here on the doorstep. Download the Oaklawn Sports app in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store and get online and get in the action. Futures, outright winners, spreads, totals, player props, game props. If you're looking for it, they have it. You can probably bet on all of it with Oaklawn Sports. Also the Olympics right now as well. Baseball, basketball, football, hockey, it's all there. Set up your account. To put money in your account, make that first bet of at least $10 up to $250. And if it doesn't work out, they'll give you a bonus bet of equal value as well. Hey, bet with the brand you trust. Bet with the brand you know anywhere in Arkansas. Arkansas's best sports betting app. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
So earlier in the show, we were talking about the new Tyson chicken Razorback nuggets. Tommy, I saw this piece. I want to say it was in River Valley Now. Have you ever been to the Mount Nebo chicken fry?
I have.
Okay.
I've done live remotes from the Mount Nebo chicken fry.
The 77th coming up this August at Mount Nebo State Park.
Every politician in the area will be there. It's a big political gathering.
And I think about the Slovak oyster supper. I think about duck gumbo. There's certain festivals, like the Great Festival in Tawny Town. There's certain festivals that captivate Arkansans from all over the state. Well, people drive significant amount of miles and hours just to be a part of this each and every. What is that like?
Well, I mean, again, there's a lot of, particularly in political years or election years, I should say, a lot of politicians there, but it's a community gathering. Have you ever been up on Mount Nebo?
Been to Mount Magazine, not Mount Nebo.
They're not far apart. You could do both in one day, but beautiful views of the river. You got Magazine, Nebo, and then Pettigene. That's all kind of right there in a row in our state. Within short drives of each other, but it's been 25 years. I was working radio in Russellville, and that was a staple for it. But they sell tickets. It's a big community deal, and people do drive in. And you got to be careful going up that road because there are places that are. When I talk about windy, it's like going to Devil's Den or something like that, getting up to Mount Nebo.
Christian, what is the festival?
Beautiful cabins up there. They got state park, great cabins to stay in. I like Nebo.
Back in your hometown? You've talked about
the
it before.
Armadillo Festival.
The Armadillo Festival.
What is it? Is it Emerson that does the coon supper where they have raccoon? I know there's been some that go to that. There's some obscure ones in our state.
I just like hearing about them, and I'm reading about this, and again, nearly 80 years of doing this. Anytime there's stuff like that where it's lasted that long, it's a tradition of each hometown. I just think is pretty. Is there another one in Northwest Arkansas that I'm missing? I know that the Great Festival is what I think about the good Italian food. What else am I missing in Northwest Arkansas?
One.
That's a big thing. There's certain
there's a testicle festival or something.
Yeah,
up there.
the
that was new like last year, wasn't it?
The bulls. Yeah,
that's not exactly got. They got the film festival that they do in Bentonville. That's still fairly new, but I mean things like the Grape Festival, the chicken fry. All those they've been going up. Was you 77 years? Mm-hmm. And this isn't the fifth annual.
And apparently, Tommy, there's a couple texting. It's
Gillette.
Gillette,
not Emerson. It's Gillette.
The coon supper. People were making. We get a bunch of texts about that. I'm assuming that those are towns right next to one another.
I just had the name wrong, but
it's funny.
I had the festival right.
Rivals certain towns that they take pride in, whether it's festivals or having a certain landmark or something. Mm-hmm. When you mention it and you mention it, they want to make sure, no, this is ours. This is our heritage.
You can have that one.
Our pride. And apparently the coon supper very much is is it you say that one more time? Gillette or Gillette?
Gillette,
like
the razor. Yeah.
Okay. Gillette, Arkansas. Where is that?
Down south.
It's around
south, and I
think it's around Stuttgart, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would know. You're from there.
Yeah, I used to live there. I went to the the quail supper in Ullum. Have y'all heard of Ullum?
Quail supper.
Ullum is like really small. You could miss it if you drive through there.
War Eagles, another one.
Y'all cover that one and the one where they have squirrel. I'll go to the rib festival, the brisket festival, and the pulled pork festival. I'll cover those for the station.
Yeah, we'll make sure those are marked on the itinerary. My dad is doing this new thing where he'll travel across the state as a pharmaceutical rep, and when he tries a new barbecue spot, he'll rate it and send it to my brother and I. So it is cool, whether it's different restaurants or different festivals. Definitely take it in as much as you can. War Eagle's another good one. Seth and Rogers once said that was my mom's favorite festival back in the day. She loved taking us. I wasn't the biggest fan, but I do remember how much she enjoyed that in the Rogers, Northwest Arkansas.
Harrison has the hot balloon races, and they do that.
Those are pretty cool. Yeah. Those pictures are pretty cool. So there's a lot of significant festivals that you don't necessarily think about with Arkansas, but I mean, again, 77 years of this Mount Nebo one.
Yeah, you ought to go up there. Be a good day trip.
It looks like a good time. Might have to take that in. Well, it's been a good What's Your Beef Wednesday. We had a chance to talk with Chuck Oliver in the first hour, Coach Casey Dick, former Arkansas quarterback and Fayetteville High School coach, and we reminisced a little bit about this guy. Mr. Paul Eels, unfortunately, 18 years ago today, died July 31st, 2006. His calls, memories, stories still live on and will live on for the rest of probably Arkansas athletics history.
One of the great guys, too. Just a great person. No one was friendlier than Paul Eels. So it's been a Watch Your Beef Wednesday brought to you by Richard's Country Meat Market in Fayetteville, 1 block east of College, off Rolling Hills Drive at 3042 North Market Avenue. Find them online at richardscountrymeatmarket.com.
Appreciate everyone joining us today. Chuck's going to be back with us tomorrow. Give some thoughts on fall camp. Again, we're going to hear from some more coaches and more players throughout the week. You can follow it on hitthatline.com and our YouTube channel as well as the Hit That Line Now app. Talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Be ready for a Too Stupid Thursday.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my